Swimming Canada would like to thank our partners. Natation Canada tient à remercier ses partenaires. Bell for Better and all the ways it gives back to communities and sport across Canada. Mieux pour tous et toutes les façons dont Bell redonne aux communautés et au sport dans tout le Canada. Chicken Farmers of Canada, proud supporter and official protein of Swimming Canada. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada, fiers partisans et protéines officielles de Natation Canada. Mirtha Pools Canada, proud national sponsor supporting aquatic dreams everywhere. Mirtha Pool Canada, fier commanditaire national qui soutient les rêves aquatiques partout dans le monde. Avis, from freestyle in the pool to freedom on the road. Avis, de la nage libre dans la piscine à la liberté sur la route.
And welcome, everybody. This is the 2023 Bell Swimming Trials. Trials for the World Championships, trials for the Pan American Games, as well as the Para World Championships and Junior World Championships. All sorts of events to qualify for here today. With me, as always, Brittany McLean and special guest, Maggie McNeil.
We're so excited for these trials to get started. First of all, because that excitement is building, I want to know from Maggie McNeil, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I'm excited to see the first couple people named to the World Champs team, and hopefully we'll have some new faces.
Yeah. See, new names. I think this is really big as a stepping stone to Paris too, right? Because if people are getting on the World Championships team this year, that's a really great stepping stone as they're training towards maybe their first Olympic Games, maybe their second or third. Really looking forward to that. I think my highlight, I don't know about you guys, but this morning was James Durgashoff going a 2:10 flat in the 200 breast, best time by 2 seconds. That's got to be something we're looking forward to tonight.
Absolutely, and the 200 breaststroke, both for the women and for the men, was very exciting. We had a few youngsters in there on the men's race, and that women's field is absolutely stacked at the 200 breast.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those ones. I think they're key highlights. We have normal stars that the names are very well known in this space, the Summer McIntoshes, the Kylie Mosses of the world. Maggie, coming to your competition, you just came off of an electric NCAA championships. I loved every second of getting to watch you. The 50 freestyle was actually your NCAA record. It was also the event that you won coming home. Is that a race you focus more on that you're looking forward to doing here, or is it all about the fly? What's the big main idea and main goal here in Toronto?
I think it's just trying to put up some times and see where I'm at. I mean, I've only been swimming long course for like a week, so just trying to get on that team and work from there.
Awesome. Okay, well, we can't wait to see what happens tonight. We're definitely looking forward to it. Make sure you tune in and make sure you're cheering on this Canadian team towards all of those amazing teams that we named earlier.
Good evening and welcome to day one of our final session here at the Canadian Bell Swimming Trials. This should be a great 6 days of action here at the Toronto Canada Sports Centre, and we look forward to some exciting races to kick off here on day number one. At this time, I'd like to introduce everyone to our referees and starters for tonight's session. The referee for the men's events, Daryl Martin. Referee for the women's events, Anita Shuffle-Wu. Our referee for our para events this evening, Jocelyn McLean. Starter for the men's events, Julie Gay. Starter for the women's events, Ron Riley. And our starter for the para events, Jeff Holmes. We would now ask everyone to please rise if you are able and join Jeff Holmes in the singing of our national anthem. glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Is Brittany McLean for all the action tonight in our swimming event.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing where these swimmers are at this point of the season. I think this is a huge stepping stone as they prepare for next year's Paris Olympics, and a lot of the junior programming, we'll get a taste for that. We'll also get a chance to watch some of our senior swimmers for the first time behind this great crowd here at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre.
And we've got trials for all sorts of things, don't we, tonight, Brittany? We've got the World Championships, World Juniors, the IPC, the Para World Championships, as well as the Pan American Games.
Right, and there's going to be even more teams selected from the performances that we see here. So I think this is one of those where no matter who you are or where you're at, you have to be able to step up and perform. And consistency is really important in this sport. So even if you are a big name or a veteran that we may know very well, all of the big swimmers are here to perform and have to be at their best if they want to qualify themselves to the summer championships.
So coming up tonight, we've got the para 50-meter breaststroke, the para 100-meter breaststroke, and then we've got the Olympic events, the 200-meter breaststroke, the 100-meter backstroke, before we finish off tonight with the 400-meter freestyle event. It does look like we are ready for our very first event. This is the women's para 50-meter breaststroke, and it's a multi-class event, and like all of our para and multi-class events, we're going to have to wait to give you those final results after a little bit of calculation, a bit of time, as we have a couple of different categories sitting here tonight. That's Ali Van Wicksmart from EDAC. Started the Paralympic Games. She moved 50-meter backstroke where she was 12th, 100-meter freestyle she was 14th. And Nikki Enns from the Saskatoon Laser program. She is seated first overall by time. And as I said, it's a multi-class event, but it does look like both Enns and Van Wicksmart are both swimming in the same category, so this is one of the few events where we're going to be able to make that determination on place strictly by the times on the board.
Yeah, and their two best times are very close, which makes this an exciting one. It will be all eyes in the middle of the pool, as you can see. Only 2 lanes will be swimming this race, but we will see, the 4th and 5th place finishers at this event at the World Para 2022 Swimming Championships. And that's what you want to see. That's this high quality racing, but it's also going to be close racing. And I think this is a great way to start our night off with hopefully a battle in the pool.
And so here we go, coming up with first event of the night, first event of the weekend. It's going to be that 50-meter breaststroke, and it's going to be a multi-class para event. We should be getting ready underway with that one momentarily.
And Nikita just coming over. She is the current SB2 Canadian record holder in this event, 34 years of age, swimming for the Saskatoon Lasers. Now, like I mentioned, only about a second separating them this morning, and they've gone back and forth on that Canadian record time since 2018.
So these competitors know each other very well. Should result in a close race and an exciting race here to kick off our night. And starting in the water, 50-meter breaststroke, multi-class para women's event.
And it's interesting watching this one on the start. You know, the coaches are there to assist. They have to hold those feet against the wall until they get the signal to go. They can't aid them at that time when they go off the wall, and it's pretty even between them both here. 4 and 5 ends, and then Wick Smart this morning. It was just a little bit more than a second that separated those two, with ends a little bit faster at 146.08 than Wick Smart back at 147.16. They're right together there through 15 meters so far.
And I think we'll take this opportunity too, as it's early in the session, to talk a little bit about the different classifications on the Paralympic side, because it can get confusing, and I want to make sure everyone is aware. The S has a number between 1 and 10 for physical impairments. So you'll see S1 all the way through S10. Those have to do with their physical impairments. When you see SB, what we currently see for these two swimmers in the water, SB2, that is just a classification for breaststroke. So knowing that different abilities come through for different strokes, breaststroke tends to be one of the more difficult ones. So they're defined by their breaststroke. And then we have SM, which is the medley, so the SM ranking. So all swimmers would have those 3 rankings. S11 to 13 are for vision impairments, and S11, just a fun fact, are swimmers that must use a tapper. For S12 and 13, the tapper is optional, so that is with vision impairment. And then S14 and SB14 are intellectual impairments. But let's get back to this race.
Well, and that's the multi-class system, and it's not always easy to make a determination on who wins, but this one in the same classification is coming right down to the touch. Look at this. Lane number 4, just by the smallest margins. Nikki Ann, Saskatoon Lasers, 143.32. That's a drop of nearly 2 seconds from this morning, and a 3-second drop. Van Wick Smart in lane number 5, 144.08. A close race, a great race to start the night.
Yeah, we said it was going to be close, and that I think is as close as it gets to start us off. A dominant back and forth battle for those two swimmers that have had the chance to go back and forth a few times. So I look forward to seeing them throughout the weekend. I would say that's a positive way to start. I'm just noticing there for Allie, that's actually a personal best time. So she just shaved about a 10th or 2 tenths off of her personal best. So you got to love starting the meet off with a personal best.
Great way to start the meet, and they are doing selection for para swimmers, and the selection for that is announced a little bit later. Again, it's just not as straightforward, but we'll be able to make sure that when we have those announcements for those team members, we'll get that out and everybody a little bit later. So coming up right now, we're going to have an interview with Brittany. Turn our attention down to the pool deck here momentarily before we get our winner up behind the mic. This is going to be Allie Van Wick Smart who we're speaking to. And Allie, second in that race, taking off 3 seconds from her personal best.
Allie, congratulations, an absolutely amazing performance. If I'm correct, I think that's a personal best time for you, 144.08. How did that race feel? Awesome. And one thing I did notice too, the 2019 Breakout Para Swimmer of the Year. How do you feel like you've gained valuable experience since then? All right, everyone, put your hands together for Ali Van Wyck Smart.
And a great swim for Van Wyck Smart. We're going to take a short commercial break now before we come back for our next event, which will be the women's 100-meter breaststroke.
We now welcome to action our next championship finalist is in the multi-class para women's 100 breaststroke. In lane 0, representing Saskatoon Lasers, Shelby Newkirk.
And Shelby, a breaststroke specialist, 2019 World Para Swimming Champs, silver medalist in the backstroke events, actually.
Part of Team Quebec.
Dee Kisser actually has the 2020 Canadian Sports Award for the most viral moment of the year, so you got to keep an eye on her vlogs, This Little Light.
And Sum Zafar, representing Golden Horseshoe Aquatics, specializes in programs for para swimmers.
Abby Tripp, the young talent, one of only two 14-year-olds on the Canadian national team back in 2015.
Here's Tess Rutliff. She picked up a silver medal at the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games in the 200 IM.
16-year-old, relatively new to the scene here, representing the Muskoka Aquatic Club, Mary Jibb.
And here she is, one of our more decorated para swimmers, Katarina Roxon, gold medalist at the Rio Games, bronze medalist at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games.
And Justine Laurier won the S1400 breast at the 2018 Pan Pacific Championships.
All right, so now this one, as we mentioned, and you mentioned describing those para categories, not as straightforward, not going to be based on time. It's the International Para Points. It's a classification system as well as a point system. So that's going to determine these final placings. So we'll be looking to see how these races go for the swimmers, how they compare to the swims that they did this morning, and then we'll get a final determination on placings a little bit later this evening.
So Jason, as you mentioned, we are watching the swimmers in the, I guess, lanes decided based on the time they went this morning. But as you mentioned, we will have to wait for classification, all of the calculations to happen before we know exactly who will be named to these national teams.
You're exactly right. It's sort of a two-part swim where they are seeded by time, and then results are done later by those para points. So it's not always clear and straightforward. But really what we're looking for is to see the swimmers, compare them to where they were this morning, see if they're making an improvement, see how close they are to their best times. And out fast and out quick, it's Moyer in lane number 4, turning at 39.00. She's got Roxon right beside her in lane number 5, a little bit more than a second back. And in third right now is Jibb in lane 3.
Great, and you mentioned the talent that Katarina Roxon is. 4-time Paralympian from Kippens, Newfoundland. So got to think she is a town hero at this point.
Absolutely, and she is doing well. 25 meters left to go for Roxon, but it is lane number 4, Justine Moyer from Velox out in front. She was 125.72 this morning, out very quick at 39.00. We'll expect to see her underneath that time with just 5 meters left to go. It is Moyer in lane number 4. Gonna hit the wall with a good swim here tonight. Look at this, 124.39, more than a full second faster than this morning. Second is Roxon hitting the wall in 129.60. Again, about a half second faster. And then Jibb comes in for third in a 131.32. That's 4 seconds faster than this morning. So some good swims tonight, especially compared to where they were this morning.
Right, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Improvements from the morning times. This is really great run through of what they're going to need to face at things like a World Championships or a Pan Am Games.
And there we go. All of our competitors are in.
All of our A and B as well as junior finalists, please report to the ready room in advance of the races this evening. All swimmers must report to the ready room
good swims there in our women's para multi-class 100-meter breaststroke. Up next will be the men. We are going to get a chance to talk to Tess Routliff here shortly. And Routliff, as you mentioned, she was a a silver medalist at the Rio Paralympic Games in the 200-meter individual medley.
Results up on the scoreboard showing your official rankings based on those points charts. Tess Routliff, your top seed at 134.68. Abby Tripp, then second. And Katarina Roxon will pick up third at 129.60.
Tess, congratulations on an amazing performance. I love seeing your smile down there. How does that feel to start off your meet here in Toronto? Awesome, and you talk about those different points in your season. Last year was a big comeback after an unfortunate need to pull out of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. What does it mean to you? Do you have a new appreciation for swimming after what you had to go through? And sometimes we take those trials and turn them into joys. Congratulations on your performance tonight, and best of luck the rest of the week. Tess Routliff, everyone.
So there we were with those final results.
We now direct your attention to the
Katarina Roxon taking the bronze, Abby Tripp grabbed silver, and Routliff.
Passons maintenant à la cérémonie de médaille pour le 50 places par la féminin.
2 seconds faster than she did this morning in the preliminary.
To present the awards, please welcome the sales director for all tides, teams division, Corinne Robert.
La remise de médaille sera effectuée par la directrice des ventes montagne et division équipe, Corinne Robert.
In second place for silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
From Variety Village in Guatemala, Ali Van Wixmart.
So I can hear you speaking on this, but you can't hear when I'm speaking.
Very, very faint.
And your gold medalist, national champion.
Et la médaille d'or.
From a final time of 143.32 from the Saskatoon Blazers, Nikita N. Congratulations, swimmers.
Félicitations, le médaillé.
Back to the pool we go. Let's welcome our multi-class para 100 breaststroke swimmers to the deck.
Accueillons maintenant nos finalistes.
And here we go with our next event. It is the men's 100-meter breaststroke. This is a para multi-class event.
Philippe Vachon.
Is swimming in lane number 7 from Mego. Swam and it was a finalist at the World Para Championships in 2022.
Felix Cowan is a recent new member of the Paris swimming national team, attended the World Para Champs last summer in the 50, 100, and 50, 100 free and 100 back.
Richmond Rapids finished
Stingrays, Caleb Arndt.
And Caleb Arndt here from the new Market Stingrays. He's hit recent best times in the 50 through 200 breast, so lots to keep an eye out for today.
Et dans le numéro 4, le bougeur de personne là-bas, James Leroux.
And James Leroux representing University Laval. He is the bronze medalist at the 2022 Worlds in the SB 900 breaststroke. So that's the event we're watching right here. This is his bread and butter event. He's a 2016 and 2020 Paralympian. So he's definitely going to be the favorite here out of lane 4.
And as we mentioned earlier, there's a few different categories in this one, so they've been doing it. Looks like they've got the system up and running. We should be able to get results fairly shortly after our final. And James Leroux seated first with 1:11.72. He's going to be running for the fastest seeded swimmer in our final tonight. Off we go. We'll watch Leroux. He was the best time this morning. 9/100ths faster than he has been before. After a big clean start, 1:11.72 off of the sea time of 1:11.81 this morning.
Yeah, and like I said, this is his bread and butter event. So for him to be able to start off night 1 with a strong race, you got to think that that pretty much seeds him well for the rest of the week.
Dans la catégorie S9, le record canadien, lui appartient 1:08.56.
Yeah, good. Gill, he's quick swim this morning, but we'll see what we've got. Leroux, there he is at 32.
James Leroux out of first, 32.48.
Half second faster than he was this
This event
morning.
also
Second
scored
is
on
Gill
our
at the 50, followed by Mark Lane.
are posted.
Right, and this is another one of the event for a reminder of anyone that joined us late. The swimmers will have to have their times calculated based on their pair of points, so we will not know the winner right away, but it's definitely looking like a strong performance here for James Leroux.
And James Leroux out quick, out faster than he was this morning by nearly a full half second. He put up a personal best. Always what we're looking for this time of the year. 1:11.72 this morning. We'll see if he can get under with just a couple strokes left. It's going to be Leroux in 4. 1:10.97. First time ever under that 1:10. Nearly a full second off of his personal best in the sea time.
Be a final time of 1:18.22.
Hitting the wall second is Gill. From the Gill in lane number 5. Wall third is Caleb Arndt. Coming in lane number 3 from Newmarket.
James Leroux qui termine sa course avec un 1:10.97. Une seconde d'amélioration sur son temps de
And again, we're looking for these swimmers to improve upon their morning time, so taking a peek across the board, but looks like some definite time drops, which is great to see.
Good swimming to start off the night, to start off the weekend here. 2023 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. Stay tuned at the end of the night. We're going to have the performance of the day. Something that's written now. We're looking at all of the swims throughout the morning, throughout the night. Our pick for the Bell performance of the day. We're going to talk to James Leroux. Brittany is the silver medalist at the World Championship. Yep, momentarily.
Congratulations, James. A solid swim for you here. How does it feel to be able to have your bread and butter event done with and successfully completed on night 1 of these championships?
It's nice. I get to watch all my teammates have done, so I get to chill. So it's nice.
And are you happy with that performance here today?
Yeah. I mean, it's faster than this morning. Fastest time since a couple of years, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Awesome. And looking towards Worlds this summer, we see you have a silver medal from 2019. You have a bronze medal from 2022. Is there a goal in your future?
Obviously, the podium again is the goal, so we'll keep that.
Awesome. We'll set those goals high. We'll be cheering for you. Congratulations, James.
We now go back to the pool once again. junior final. Let's welcome our finalists to the deck in the junior final photograph.
Approché le finale de l'épreuve 5, le 200 places junior. Accueillons les athlètes.
Here we go, the first final. It's the junior final.
Introduce your junior finalists in lane 0 for the Point Claire Club, Camilla Blanchard.
In lane 1 from Medicine Hat, Rowan Bipper.
Lane 2, the Ottawa Olympians, Grace Lou.
Couloir 3 du Nouveau Côté de Montréal, Justine Lapierre.
In 4 from the Manchester.
And our swimmers right now are walking out. We'll make sure to highlight every name once they're in the pool. Hopefully you can see them coming up on their screen.
Macy Larson.
In lane 8 from the Holly Burns team, Valentina Kolchev.
In lane 9 from backstroke Aquatic Club, Julie Nolan McCarthy.
And they're behind the blocks, ready to take. This is our junior final. So on the line here are qualification spots or consideration spots towards the Junior World Championships this summer.
Right, and so that World Junior standard at minimum that they've got to be under is a 2:31.83, but we also have a couple junior age eligible swimmers swimming in our A final a little bit later. And there we go, Hallie West swimming in lane number 4 from Manta. She's the top seed in the junior final. There's 2 girls ahead of her. They're swimming in the A final. She was a 2:36.19 this morning in prelims.
Yeah, and this is a race that is considered on the distance side of things when it comes to breaststroke. So it's a lot about strategy. It's a lot about pacing yourself well. These swimmers are going to want to get out with a strong first 50, but the last thing you want is for your muscles to tighten up coming home on that last 50. So a lot of their training will be going into being able to pace this and being a smart swimmer.
And let's see where West is at the 50. She's 34.60. It's 34.22. Grace Liu out in lane number 2 is the first to come around. This 34.60 is slightly faster than she was this morning for West. And Liu doing a good job out of lane number 2, making the most of this. She was just off of her best time this morning. She did swim a 2:39.6, but she is out very fast, nearly a full second faster than this morning.
And she looks very strong there in the middle of the pool. Like you mentioned, she's going to have to contest against a few of these other swimmers in the A final in order to get her spot. So she's going to have to put together the performance of her life here.
And she's a few tenths better than she was this morning. She's on pace to go faster. And that 2:36.1 that she did this morning will set her up and set her up well. We'll see how close she can get to that qualifying standard. It is 2:31, so it's a pretty quick swim. It would be a good drop for her. Hallie West looking very good. About 2 body lengths ahead of the field right now in lane number 4.
Yeah, it's all Hallie West in lane 4 at the moment. She's got a little over a 50 left to go, but this is where I mentioned the swimmers might start to tighten up. So if they kind of were able to build into the race, someone might make a move here. But again, it's all lane 4 as we have a 50 to go.
And this is a really good third 50 for West at 39.6. That's a full second faster than her third 50 was this morning. So she's caught her groove, and she's managed to get over that hump of that really, really hard part of this breaststroke onto that third 50.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the clock. That junior A time, 2:31.83. She's within reach.
She's got to go another 39 low to get down to that time. We'll see what she's got left. 15 meters left to go. 2:31.83 is the cut, and she's got an entry time, a C time of 2:34.7. For sure she's going to be underneath that. And here it is, West, 2:33.41. That's a new best time for Hallie West, University of Manitoba, Manta Swim Club, my apologies, winning our junior final.
Yeah, and that's an awesome performance there. To get up in the finals, to be able to race, to go a personal best time. You can see lots of people on the sidelines cheering her on, as well as many other teammates. These junior finals are a new opportunity for a lot of these athletes that weren't in the A final, but still get a chance to swim at night under the crowd and the lights.
And Laura Antonucci from University of Calgary, she takes silver in a 2:35.79. And bronze goes to lane number 3 from Camo. That's Justine Lapierre, time of 2:36.45.
And we're getting set here for the B final, the women's 200 breaststroke.
We'll direct you to the podium now for the award ceremony for the para-women and para-men's 100 breaststroke. Procédons maintenant à la remise de médaille du 100 brasses para-féminin et para-masculin. Presenting the awards is the sales director of all ties and teams divisions, Corinne Roberge. La remise de médaille sera effectuée par la directrice des ventes all ties et division d'équipe, Corinne Roberge.
Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze, Aqua Aces Sword Club, Katarina.
Congratulations, Lawrence.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
And now we'll present the awards to the men's multi-class para 100 breaststroke. To present the awards, the Director of Operations for the Life Saving Society of Canada, Wendy Schultencamper.
La remise de médaille pour le 100 brasses para-masculin sera effectuée par la directrice des opérations Société de sauvetage Canada, Wendy Schultencamper.
Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze,
From the Richmond Rapids, Ken Stroud.
It's mostly you, I can't.
Silver medalist.
la médaille d'argent.
From McGill, Jagnel Gill. Gold medalist.
Et la médaille d'or du rouge et or, personne navale, James Leroux.
Congratulations, Lawrence.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
Lorsque nous pensons au sport et à la nourriture, nous pensons souvent qu'à la nutrition. Mais c'est plus que cela. C'est notre façon de nous connecter avec nos proches après nos déplacements. De nous entraîner de nombreuses heures pour devenir meilleurs. Notre façon de montrer à une personne que nous nous soucions d'elle et prendre soin de nous. C'est plus que de la simple nourriture. C'est une source d'énergie. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada alimentent fièrement les nageurs canadiens depuis 2013.
And those less familiar, this B final means the top 11 through 20. So we're swimming 10 lane finals. It's 11 through 20.
So I can hear her. She can't hear me. Yeah, So I've got it volume cranked all the way over on the main. I did on the phones as well, but I can't hear anything. There we go off in the B final. Our top seed in lane number 4, Danica Etier from Club de Natation Rouge et Or. She managed a 2:34.77 this morning. Now the standard to qualify for the Pan American Games, it's a 2:35.36. That's not what the challenge in this race is going to be. We've got a whole final ahead of us and coming up in heat number 3, all underneath that standard. So we'll see where we get to through the first 50 meters, and it is going to be 34.60. That's Catherine Ivanov swimming in lane number 7, 5/100ths of a second ahead of Etier swimming in lane number 4. It's a bit faster than they were this morning. Etier was the quickest through the first 50 meters at 35.00. Very close field as they come to the 75-meter mark. It's still advantage lane number 4, Danica Etier.
Catherine Ivanov having a great swim out of lane 7 there for the London Aquatic Club.
And let's see where they are at the halfway mark. 1:15.66 this morning. And here we are, 1:13.84. That's a pretty good drop on the first 100. Turning in second at 1:14.10. Lane number 7, Catherine Ivanov, also out very well. It's almost 3 seconds faster than this morning for Ivanov. Ivanov, she was 2:38 this morning. She's been as fast as 2:35. Starting to make a move in lane number 5, Shauna Bratton. Picking it up well as they come to the 150-meter mark. 3 of them now turning with less than 50 meters to go here in the B final.
And it's shaping up to be a nice close race there in the middle of the pool, which makes it exciting. We talk about pacing it well. Right now you see lane 5, Shauna Branton making her final move almost 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field on that third 50.
A great third 50 as they come to the close. Less than 25 meters to go now. And it is lane number 5, Shauna Branton from Western, powering through this last half of the race. She's really charging through the finish. 10 meters left to go now. And this is going to be Branton in lane number 5, 2:35.48 this morning, and winning tonight, 2:34.16. Good close by Branton in lane number 5 to win our B final. Does manage to swim underneath at Pan Am standard, but remember we've got a whole heat of ladies coming up in our A final. A couple juniors in that A final coming up as well.
And the results there are official on the board, and we're getting set for the A final of the women's 200-meter breaststroke.
And talk about a field of experienced women, Brittany. It's chock full of it here in the A final of the women's 200-meter breaststroke.
Truly, and this is their first big national meet of the year, so we don't know how everyone's doing until we watch them race here tonight.
And here we go. So lane 9 from London Aquatic Club. She swam, a youngster. She's eligible for World Junior. She swam at the World Cup in Toronto this fall.
Julie Brousseau, the 16-year-old from NKB, also eligible, so we'll have to keep an eye on that Junior A standard.
And Tess Lula, number 11 all-time in this event for Canada. She's also world champion in the 400-meter individual medley. Sophie Angus, Commonwealth medalist from last summer.
And Rachel Nickel out in lane 1. There was a bit of a mishap there, but we're back on schedule. 2016 Olympian. She was 5th in this event in the 100 breaststroke in 2016.
And
Mary Sophie Harvey, a versatile Olympian, 4x200 freestyle relay team member, but also does the 200 IM, 400 IM, and here we see her in the 200 breast.
Avery Wiseman from the Olympian Swim Club. She was a medalist at the World Juniors in 2019, number 12 all-time in this event.
Yeah, Nina Kucheron just wrapped up NCAA's, finishing 10th in the 200 breaststroke yards for the University of Florida.
Kelsey Ward, University of Manitoba, number 3 all-time Tokyo Olympian. She got a best time at 2:22.42.
And between 5 and 4, we probably have our favorites in this race. Sydney Pickram has been on the podium at the World Championships in this event before. That was 2019. She's also been on the senior national team since 2014. We've seen her in the IM races. We've seen her sometimes on some relays. But she's really taken to the breaststroke on certain years, so we'll have to see what kind of form she's in here in the 200 breast.
Well, she's medaled at the Worlds in this event, so plenty of experience there in the middle of the pool. Wog and Pickram, some of the very best that Canada's ever had in this women's 200-meter breaststroke.
Yeah, and keep an eye out too. Lane 1, 2, and 8 are also Olympic team members. So half of this field are Olympians here for Team Canada, which is a pretty impressive feat to see out of 10.
So the standard to make for the World Championships, time of 2:25.91. Here we go, the women's 200-meter breaststroke. This is our A final. And off we go. Pickram played it pretty cool this morning on the way out and really came home, thundered home on that last 50. So we'll see if the strategy is the same, because our top 2 qualifiers, Pickram and Wog, they do need to get a little bit more out of themselves to get underneath that cut, 2:25.9.
Right, and both of them are actually known more for their 200 specialties versus the 100. So this is actually one of those benefits we get to see in this long, strong strokes. Both 4 and 5, as you can see right now, pretty close at the 50.
Wiseman out pretty quick in lane number 6. She's actually out in front, 33.13, tied to the 100th, Sydney Pickram. And then third, it is Wog, right sandwiched in between the two of them. It's 18/100ths of a second back at 33.3.
And since we have so much depth in the Canadian women's program, it is pretty common for us to see 2 swimmers under that FINA A cut. But this is one of those races where it's going to take, it's very realistic that we see 2, but it is going to take a pretty strong race.
And look how long and strong Pickram looks in lane number 4. She is cruising to the lead here at the halfway point. It's going to be Pickram at 1:09.95. That is a good drop. A second and a half faster than that she was this morning. It's still Wiseman second at 1:10.4, and then right there as well, Wog just a couple 100s back.
Right, and Wiseman is putting on a performance here, but this is where we can expect to see Wog and Pickram kind of take it away on this third 50. Most 200, especially on the stroke side, this third 50 is absolutely crucial for what this finish is going to look like.
And it does look like Pickram and Wog are trying to separate themselves from the field. Wiseman, no slouch though. She's holding on as they come to the 150-meter mark. It is Pickram and then Wog by 0.2 of a second. Wiseman just back at 1:47. All 3 of these swimmers much quicker than they were this morning.
And Kelsey Wog, the only one under 37 seconds with her split there. So talk about the third 50 making a move. It was Wog there that made the biggest jump.
And what we saw this morning, it looks like it might be happening again here tonight. Sydney Pickram really pushing here on this last 50. She's managed to be an arm's length out of Wog in lane number 5. And we've got to keep our eye on the clock. It's 2:25.91 for consideration for Worlds. And it is Pickram, 2:24.63 under the cut. Kelsey Wog also under 2:25.26. And then third for Wiseman, 2:26.46. Great swims by all 3 of our top 3 finishers.
And for the first event of the women, on the women's side, we see 2 under that FINA A standard, so that's very encouraging as we start this program, and we see the results are now official. So both Sydney Pickram and Kelsey Wog have put their names into the top consideration for the World Championships this summer.
Well, it's a good omen here tonight in the women's events. Wiseman, lifetime best for her, finishing third for the bronze, and both Kelsey Wog and Sydney Pickram underneath that FINA A cut. In a moment's time, we're going to be able to chat with Sydney Pickram. Wait for her to get up to the mic. And here's Brittany McLean.
Hi, Sid. Congratulations. Thank you. How does it feel to prepare for the World Championships this summer? Start off on night one, a strong 200 breaststroke. Where are we feeling right now?
It feels great. You know, trials is always stressful. I think everyone can attest to that. And event one, get the job done, get on the team. That's obviously the goal. Going into the week, it's a long 6 days, so I'm happy to get the job done.
Awesome. And talk about getting the job done. Your first senior national team was in 2014, which is almost a decade ago. How are you staying so consistent throughout your career, and what do you attest your success to right now?
Honestly, I moved back to Texas A&M, and it's been the best thing for me. I think they keep me young. Especially I train with about 25 college guys, so that brings me down a little bit. But the fact that this is my 5th World Championship team, I'm pretty ecstatic to just keep going, even those young bucks behind me are always trying to push me.
Yeah, a true leader on this Canadian women's national team. I believe it's Thanks and Gagum.
Thanks and Gagum.
Congratulations, Sydney.
Sydney Pickton, your winner tonight in the 200 breaststroke.
Well, a great swim for Sydney Pickard to win that 200-meter breaststroke for the women. Coming up next, this is the men's 200-meter breaststroke, and our junior finalists are making their way out to their lanes.
In lane 0 for Brandon McCullough, Carter Sheffel.
Lane 1, Megan Adams,
In lane 2 for Brandon McCullough, Noah Tarico.
in 3, Point Pleasure Club, Nathan Thomas.
In lane 4 for the Grand Prairie Piranhas, Oliver Dawson.
In lane 5 for the Olympians Club, Hayden Fisher.
And we're seeing these junior athletes walking up behind the box right now.
In 7, representing Marks Aquatic Club, Kia Kong.
In lane 8 for the Ajax Aquatic Club, Brody Couturier.
And in 9 for the Music Canada Barracudas, Yuko Lee.
Full second this morning at 220.36. He represents Grand Prairie Piranhas.
And these junior finals, for those curious, everyone born between 2005 and 2008 are eligible, and actually one of the youngest in the crowd has got lane 4 from Grand Prairie Piranhas, as mentioned, Oliver Dawson.
Here we go, now the junior final, the men's 200-meter breaststroke. And then off they go. Again, we mentioned the top seed is Dawson at 220.36. He's about a little bit more than a second and a half back of our top junior swimmers this morning, and then we'll see them coming up in the A final. But Dawson, he actually descended his last 3 50s this morning, and his 450 was the second fastest one of his race.
And we'll see if he takes a similar approach today. It was actually Hayden Vischer out very strong in lane 5, a quick reaction time of 0.67. Got himself in second here at the 50, but in first we see Brody Kajiria in lane 8 taking it out at the 50.
And that's the time.
Women's tournament,
That's a little bit faster, about 6 tenths faster than he was this morning. Dawson turned
Early
fourth,
leader up in
turned
lane number
32.14.
The Ajax Aquatic
Where he was
Brody
this morning.
Couturier. He was a 223.68.
Out in the lane,
Trying to prove
number 8,
it time
Brody
here tonight.
Kajiria. He's 31.0.
Le Corée de Brody Couturier de Ajax est en première position après le premier 50 mètres. C'est lui aussi qui mène après le premier 100 mètres dans le coup rapide. 1:07.52.
107.52. 2 tenths faster than he was this morning. Kajiria turning in second. It's Dawson who started to move up 35.7. That second 50, much better than he did this morning, and he's picking it up even more in lane number 4.
Still a relatively even heat, though, as we're seeing here, a little bit beyond the halfway point. It could be anyone's race, all the way from pretty much 0 until 5 and 6. We're seeing a stride here from Oliver Dawson in lane 4.
Love those blanket heats where it's anybody's race. Dawson now just edging out the field. He turns at 143.6. Second and a half better than this morning. It was great to see this youngster under the 220 mark. Looks like he's got some competition moving up beside him in lane number 3. That's Nathan Thomas pushing very hard on this last 50.
Il reste 25 mètres maintenant de Oliver Dawson et Nathan Thomas de Pointe-Claire. Il est dans la deuxième position, Marco Lafleur, qui tente de revenir dans le dernier 15 mètres.
From the youngster for Dawson.
Dawson with a grand pair of
And here tonight, 2:18:48. It's actually the fastest time by any junior so far in this men's 200 breaststroke.
And we're going to have to remember that time to keep an eye on it going into the A final, as we have some teams up for contention here, but a great strong swim there at lane 4. Oliver Dawson, Grand Prairie Piranhas.
Nice swim for second and point players, Nathan and Thomas. He cracked that 220 mark as well. 2:19.64 for him. Another lifetime best by almost 2 seconds.
Result official to that junior final, 2:18:48. Oliver Dawson, your winner from Grand Prairie Piranhas. Thank you so much for this show.
And the results are now official there on that junior final, so we're going to keep an eye on those times, absolutely, and we gear up for the B final in the men's 200 breaststroke.
And I think that just before we go to that B final, I think we might have some awards. Looks like we are. These are the awards for the women's 200 meter breaststroke, and this will be the first up, the junior finals.
All 5 team divisions, Corinne Robert.
On s'en va dans la remise de médaille du 200 brasses féminin junior. La remise de médaille sera présentée par la directrice des ventes Altaire de division équipe Corinne Robert.
Our bronze medalist in the junior 200 breaststroke. She won the junior final for the Mantis Swim Club, Hallie West. In second, final time of 2:31.14, Millennium Blood Club, Amaris Payne. Amaris Payne finishing in that 8th mile and 10th position, finishing second in our junior rankings. And your junior champion here tonight, final time of 2:30.79, defeating Canada Barracudas, Julia Brousseau. Congratulations, Source.
Félicitations à vous, Denis.
And we'll now present the awards for the women's 200 breaststroke. To present the awards, please welcome the Director of Operations of the Life Saving Society of Canada, Wendy Schultenkamper.
On s'en va dans la remise de médaille du 200 brasses féminin. La remise de médaille sera effectuée par la directrice des opérations Société de sauvetage Canada, Wendy Schultenkamper.
Your bronze medalist,
La médaille de bronze
from the Olympian Swim Club, Avery Wiseman. Silver medalist,
La médaille d'argent.
and under the World Aquatic Standard in the 200 breaststroke, University of Manitoba, Kelsey Wong. Gold medalist
Et la médaille d'or.
and national champion, also earning herself a nomination for selection for the World Aquatic Championships this summer for the Toronto Swim Club, Sydney Pickram. Congratulations, Laura.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
And with that, I believe we have a short commercial break before we come back for the B final in the men's 200-meter breaststroke.
Our next event back to the pool will be our men's 200 breaststroke B final.
Prochaine finale, la finale B du 200 passes masculin.
No, it looks like we're just going right into our B final, which is fine.
We go with the flow here, right?
Yes, roll
That's
on
what
with
these
the punches.
swimmers have to do. You just go with the flow. And now we see our swimmers that after this morning were ranked 11th through 20th here swimming. And we'll keep an eye absolutely for some personal best times and, of course, some improvements off this morning's swims.
And it looks like this top seed is going to be an Algerian national swimmer. Swimming in lane number 4, that is Monka from Balmain. Off we go. Good start by Balmain in lane number 4. He swam 2:18.92. He actually was fast enough to be eligible for the A final, but as this is a trials event, we don't have any foreign swimmers swimming in their A final. Relegated to the B at 2:18.92 this morning, and off quick in lane 4.
Right, and some of the reasons, if you're wondering why would we have international swimmers at our national championships, it's often recognized by a lot of smaller countries that don't have a full national championships as a qualification meet. So a lot of them come here, prepare similar to the Canadians would, and hope to put up times that they're considered for the meets like the World Championships and the Pan Am Games.
And 100%, it can also raise that level of competition, and why not, and help lift our game domestically by having his 4 national swimmers come here. And Balmain is doing a good job. He's out with 30.8 on that first 50. That's 0.7 of a second faster than he was this morning. He does have a seat time, 2:17.0. He was a little bit off of that in the prelims, but he's out and he's looking pretty sharp here through the first 100. 107.3 this morning. Turning in at 106.6, tied exactly with lane number 5. That's Steve Frankskovich from Raymat.
Yeah, and Steve Frankskovich, a great second 50 there, fastest in the field. We have to keep an eye on these different tempos, right? We see out of lane 4, Balawan is definitely quick, high tempo. He's dropping a little, probably fatiguing slightly, but taking advantage of that is Steve Frankovich in lane 5, picking up the pace here on the third 50.
And watch Jonathan Cook out of lane number 8. He is moving up with the field, and I think a little bit difficult to see from this vantage point, but I think he may come to the 150 just in front. And no, it is still Frankovich, then Balmain, and Jonathan Cook is 4th. 3rd is Benjamin Gagne down in lane number 1. And at 143.1, these swimmers are a little bit faster than they were this morning. 142.7 for Frankovich. That is much faster. Balmain taking back the lead here. Just a little bit more than 15 meters left to go, and the race is still in the middle of the pool. 4 and 5. Balmain trying to be better than that 2:18.92 this morning. 2:17.0 is the seat time. And it's Balmain in 4. 2:18.72. Second is Frankovich in lane number 5 at 2:19.22. Faster than this morning. And third, that goes to lane number 3, Alexandra Landry from Sudbury, this time at 2:19.24.
And the results there are official, so we gear up to get ready for our A final here in the men's 200 breaststroke. And I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm pretty excited about this one.
I got a tingle happening all over my forearms, and my hair is going up on my arms. I'm just thinking about this. It's been such a long time since we've had a male breaststroker down and that fast. James Ergstoff, 2:10.0 this morning. A fantastic swim for him. Number 2 all time in the men's 200 breaststroke.
And just an incredible story, too. We'll get to it in a minute, but first let's meet who is in our top 10 in this championship final.
Here we go. Lane number 9, Freddie Kaminga, Edmonton Piano. He won the U Sport Championships for the University of Alberta a little bit earlier this winter.
And one of 2 juniors in this heat, Jet Vergy from the University of Calgary Swim Club.
Our other junior from Hyack, Justin Jung, a personal best by 1.6 seconds this morning.
Brody Young here in his 4th year for the UBC Thunderbirds.
Braden Hemian from UBC finished 6th in this event at the U Sport National Championships.
Neil Simpson, University of Minnesota, after 3 years at the University of Pennsylvania.
Justice Mino, a best time by almost a second.
And Apollo Hess was 4th in this event at the recent U Sport Championships.
This is one I'm really excited about. Braden Tavasilo, 1.7 personal best. Beautiful long stroke this morning, down to 2:12.8.
And here's the man to keep an eye on, James Durgasov. He will have lane 4 after posting the 2nd fastest of all time in terms of Canadians. Before this morning, his personal best was a 2:12.33, so 2 full seconds dropped from his personal best that he set in 2019. And on top of that, just a great story overall. 26 years of age, he was on the national team back in 2015 and then had a 7-year hiatus before qualifying for the World Championships this past summer. Not quite where he probably wanted to be at the Worlds in the 2022 season, but to drop a time like this in the morning at these trials in March, you got to be excited about that.
Very exciting. It was probably one of our highlight swims of the morning was that 2:10.0. He looked so smooth, so strong in that race. I've never seen him look so good in the breaststroke. Here we go now, the final in the men's 200-meter breaststroke. FINA A standard, a time of 2:10.32. Oh, it's a great start there in the middle of the pool. James Durgasov, we'll watch and see where he gets himself out. He was 29.41 this morning. He was underneath that FINA A qualifying standard. The World Junior cut at 2:16.74. The fastest junior, that was done in our junior final. That was by Oliver Dawson from Grand Prairie, a time at 2:18.48. Here we go through the first 50 meters. Durgasov this morning, 29.4. Here tonight, 29.3, right on it. Looking very smooth this morning. We almost saw him crack that 2:10. He just seized up in the last 15 meters. We'll see if he can keep that length of stroke here tonight in the final.
And he's traveling so well through the water. Just looks very composed, pulling tremendous amounts under, and then of course keeping his rhythm at a tempo that makes sense for an event like the 200 breaststroke.
Tavasilo in lane number 5, the youngster from Markham, looking very good as well. He is sitting second as it comes to the 100 ball. 102.3 this morning. Durgasov 102.4 right there. 103.9. That's a better split for Tavasilo by 0.3 of a second. It's really going to be what can he do in that last 75 meters? What does that last 25 meters look like, Durgasov? Can he keep this length?
And again, for Canadians, this is a very exciting swim because we haven't seen a male breaststroker under this time since Mike Brown in 2008. So we're talking about getting into that barrier of the Canadian record, which is a 2:08, and it has been quite some time.
And here we go, Durgasov, last wall, 135.6 this morning, 135.8, so he's right there. But again, the difference was that last 50. He was 34.3 this morning, so we'll see if he can pick it up and crack that 34 mark. Tavasilo looking fantastic in lane 5. He's almost a second faster than he was this morning in prelims.
And he is climbing on Durgasov here. What a race shaping up.
He has not given up. He's not thrown in the towel yet. Tavasilo right there at Durgasov, and I think Tavasilo is moving on Durgasov. Look at this finish. Tavasilo in lane number 5 to the wall. It's Tavasilo. 2:11.28. What a fantastic swim out of lane number 5. Great Tavasilo for the win. Just out touching James Durgasov in lane 4.
What a final 50. We are speechless up here. 33.89. I guess that's the youth coming out in him, eh? That was beautifully swum for Braden Tavasilo. Markham Aquatic Club, 2:11.28.
Well, not really what we were expecting, but what a heck of a race. 2:8. Man, this is a huge drop on the day for Braden Tavasilo. He's come from 2:14.5 down to 2:11.2. Great swim. He outsplit himself on that last hit by more than a full second from this morning.
Suivi de James Durgasov. troisième position, Justice Mignot, the UBC.
Second is Sturgisov, Justice Mino at 2:14.7. He takes the bronze. Great swim by him. Another huge PB. Both Mino and your race winner, Braden Tavaslov.
Absolutely outstanding. Can we hear it for this final 50, Braden Tavaslov? What a race. Going into today, your best time was 3 seconds slower than what you just performed. Did you know you had this in you?
So my previous best time we swam at a Pro Series event last month. That was like not rested, none of that. So I knew with good shape, good taper, I'd have it in me. Yeah.
And you are now the Canadian national champion. What does that feel like? Has it set in yet?
I mean, it's something you kind of always wish for. Growing up as a swimmer in this country, and to finally make that dream a reality, it's just, it hasn't sunk in yet now.
Awesome. Well, you let that sink in. What are you most looking forward to here the rest of the week racing at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center?
Well, I mean, the 200 is always my thing, right? A little bit over distance, breaststroke, but who knows? Win here, maybe take it to another week.
Well, proud. Remember this name, Braden Tavaslov. Congratulations, our new national champion in the men's 200 breaststroke.
Braden Tavaslov, the win here tonight.
What a fantastic swim from that swimmer from Markham. Braden Tavaslov, 2:11.28. He's come down from 2:14.5, and as he said, that was the best time. He wasn't shaved, he wasn't tapered, so he knew that he had possibly something really special in the works, and he did it. He did it here tonight, winning that 200-meter breaststroke.
For sure, and I think that is exactly why you show up to nationals and we race every race. It does not matter who the top seed is. It is all about who's ready to perform in the moment, and today it was Braden Tavaslov. We said we'd be excited for that one. I don't know if we expected it, but I definitely do not think we were disappointed.
No, not at all, not at all. And now we've got the women's backstroke, and this is our junior final coming up. Plenty of excitement in this one. Women's backstroke in Canada, as good as it is anywhere else in the world, Brittany.
Right, and this is a event that in Canada has been owned by Kylie Moss for almost a decade. So incredible to see young talent coming in this sport, and especially in this event, because they've had the chance to look up to Kylie, you know, all the way from probably when they started swimming at this point, which talk about a real life, you know, aha moment when you're here at the Pan Am pool, being able to swim. Maybe it's you're warming up next to her, or you're in the prelims with her, or maybe some of them will make it to the big final in the 200 or the 50, but a great chance for some of these swimmers to get to race the best in the world, and they get to do it right on home soil.
Well, we've got 3 juniors that are swimming later on in the A final. The standard for the World Junior team, it's a 102.80, so we've got to be underneath that cut for any chance of consideration, and we've got a whole field of them here. A couple of them swimming later on tonight, right around that cut. And like we saw in the 200-meter breaststroke for the men, a great swim for junior swimmer 2:18.48. That was by Oliver Dawson from Grand Prairie. And it looks like after that backstroke starting ledge fix, ready to get underway.
And it takes them a minute too, because they got to put the flags back in. So those of you less familiar, those flags tell the swimmers they're 5 meters out from the wall, so they know where they're headed.
And here we go. The top seed in our junior final, Delilah Lloyd, is swimming in lane number 4 from Etobicoke. 103.31 this morning, just off of her personal best. She's got a sea time, entry time of 102.74. We'll look to see what she is out in. She's out 30.66 through the first 50 meters this morning.
Right, and you'll see the tempo change. We just came from a 200 breaststroke, and now we're into more of the sprints, and it's the backstroke. So really quick tempo on the arms, and then of course, this is a really heavy on the leg stroke, so they've got to have a nice underwater on the turn, and then it's going to start to hurt on this final 50.
Absolutely. All sorts of effort goes into that underwater. The third 25 coming up now, 30.56 in the split. A little bit faster this morning. Here comes Sienna Rogers in lane number 5, having a great back end to this 100-meter backstroke from the University of Calgary. And Rogers 103.6 this morning. She's right up there at the finish. Just a couple strokes left to go. And it is 102.44. Delilah Lloyd, that's a new best time for her, winning our junior final. The second is going to go to Sienna Rogers, University of Calgary, in lane number 5. She was a 102.56. And bronze in third. That goes to lane number 2. That's Dakota Howard from Parkland.
Yeah, we'll got to keep an eye on these times. 102.44 there. Current time to beat on the junior end. We do, as you mentioned earlier, have 3 juniors in the A final, but that time was under the junior A cut of 102.80. So she has definitely put herself in a position to qualify should there be, should she be able to beat the people in this A final.
Right, and so of those juniors, and we'll see them coming up here in a few moments, one of them was faster than that 102.44, so she currently sits second.
Direct your attention to the awards podium area now. The awards for the men.
Get some awards here before we get on with our B finals, and then a big A final, the women's 100 backstroke.
To present the awards, please welcome the sales director for all tides team divisions, Karine Robert.
Les médailles seront présentées par Karine Robert, directrice des ventes all tides des divisions d'équipe.
Your junior medalist. In third place, bronze medalist,
médaille de bronze
from the University of Calgary, Jet Vershi. Vershi swimming in that A final, finishing in 10th spot. Second place, silver medalist,
médaille d'argent,
finishing in 9th place in the A final from the High Action Club, Justin Jung. Gold medalist. He was the winner of the junior final, and he's your junior national champion for Grand Prairie Piranhas, Oliver Dawson. Congratulations, swimmers.
Félicitations aux médaillés.
We'll now present awards for the men's 200 breaststroke.
Passons maintenant à la remise de médailles du 200 brasses senior. La remise de médailles sera effectuée par la directrice des opérations Société de sauvetage Canada, Wendy Schuldenkemper.
Your bronze medalist,
la médaille de bronze,
from the UBC Thunderbirds, Justice Mignot. Silver medalist,
médaille d'argent,
High Performance Center Vancouver, James Dugasov. And your gold medalist, national champion at a time of 2:11.28 from the Markham Aquatic Club, Braden Tamasalo.
There we go, the medal presentations. I think we're going to cut away to a quick commercial break.
Congratulations, swimmers.
Before we come back for the women's backstroke B final. we are. This is the B final of the women's 100-meter backstroke. Some great swims in that junior final up next. This is the best of the rest in the B. And off we go. Lane number 4, Haley Klenk from University of Toronto, 103.20 this morning. It was a lifetime best for her. She comes seeded first here in the B final. Pretty quick. Looking very strong out there in lane number 6. Doing a great job. That's Eloise Allen from UBC Thunderbirds.
She looks very relaxed, nice smooth tempo, a little close to the lane line, but it looks to like, oh, it is Haley Klenk at first in lane 4 at the 50. 30.43 is the fastest split.
A couple tenths ahead of Allen in lane number 6, but like you said, she looked very relaxed, and she still does. Look at 4, 5, and 6 all together. There's hardly a breath of hair between them. There's 15 meters left to go. And it is lane number 4 now taking the lead. That's Haley Klenk, University of Toronto. 103.20 was the lifetime best by a tenth of a second this morning. We'll see if she can squeeze a little bit more out of herself here tonight. And 103.38 for the win. That's Haley Klenk, University of Toronto, taking that B final.
Yeah, really strong second 50 there. 32.95 on the back end. You mentioned here we're just looking for improvements. Sometimes they don't come, but these races are, back to back. It's close, within a tenth of a second to the time you went this morning is usually a pretty good spot to be in. So it's great to see there. Haley Klenk, our B heat winner.
And like you said, Brittany, all about the best times, and any opportunity that these swimmers have to get in and swim is that opportunity for best time. Whether it's the junior final, the B final, or the A final, so many of these young swimmers are developing. And so it doesn't really matter for them which one they are in. Just take the lane, take the opportunity, and see if you can't get a new personal best out of yourself.
Speaking of the A final, we're getting geared up to watch the women's 100 back A final with stars Kylie Moss, Ingrid Wilm, Danielle Henus. It's going to be a good one.
It is going to be a great one. We had 2 swimmers underneath that FINA A cut this morning. Ingrid Wilm at 100.58, and of course Kylie Moss at 59.06. I mean, she's been under the minute mark on the 100 backstroke like 100 million times. It's absolutely incredible to see how consistent she is.
Right. When we think of consistency, truly, Kylie Moss is the picture you would see in the dictionary.
I mean, she's been a world champion, 3 world championships in a row, 17, 19, 22. Absolutely incredible. Here we go. Here's our A finalist, Lila Higo, swimming unattached. One of the younger competitors in this final. Best time by almost a half second this morning.
Yeah, talk about youngsters. 14 years of age, Madison Krieger. A huge 1 second PB to get herself in the big A final.
Brooklyn Daltrite, she was next at the NC2A. She was second in the 200-meter freestyle. And also, she is a Guinness World Record holder for crossing the Northumberland Strait as the youngest swimmer ever.
Ashley McMillan will have lane 1. Greater Ottawa Kingfish trains here at the HBC Ontario.
Maddie Cottrell from Windsor Aquatic Club. She was the fastest off the block this morning. Look for a quick start from her.
Grand Prairie having a great meet so far. Jordan Greber, best time this morning to qualify her in lane 2.
Ingrid Wilm swimming in lane number 6, University of Calgary. Best time by 1.7 seconds this morning.
And Danielle Hanus, Richmond Rapids, trains under Scott Talbot at the HPC Vancouver.
Ingrid Wilm, best time 59.4, World Championship medalist last summer and in December this year.
And as we were speaking about, talk about backstroke in Canada, the Canadian record holder in the 50, the 100, and the 200 back. Everyone should be on their feet in this stadium because it is truly a privilege to get to watch her race every time we do. She is a 4-time Olympic medalist, 2-time Olympian. I mean, when we talk about names that have been around in this country or made a change in this program, Kylie is one of the first people I think about. She is a tremendous leader. She is the type of person you want on your team, but has been consistently on the podium on an international stage since probably that Rio Games in 2016.
And I think the last time that she raced long course in this pool, she broke that Canadian record and went 57.70. That was at the Olympic trials in 2021.
So great race to keep an eye on here. It's Ingrid Wilm looking for a chance to be on her. She was on the World Championship team last year in the 50 back, but we're going to keep an eye on, see that FINA A standard 00.59, which is well over her best time. So if she can go under that, she will put herself in a position to be able to swim this 100 backstroke at the World Championships.
Well, looking for a first opportunity to swim the 100 at Worlds is Wilm. Looking to get on the podium again will likely be Moss, swimming in lane 4. Good start, and let's watch the underwater because both Wilm and Moss are experts at it. And look at that great start. Ingrid Wilm off to a really good one in lane number 5. 59.4 is her personal best. She did that last summer at the Montreal National Championships. She's right out there. Kylie Moss pushing on this first 50.
Right, and Ingrid actually very strong in the short course meters format, so those details are everything. That start and the turn is something she really perfects.
And look at this, 28.41 to 28.42. Only 1/100 separating them. And another great underwater by Wilm in lane number 5. But Kylie Moss, she has so much experience. Rarely do we ever see her lose a close touch. And it is very close to this one. Wilm's got a slight advantage in lane number 5. This would be an upset if the long arms of Ingrid Wilm can get into the wall ahead of Moss. And it is Ingrid Wilm, 58.80, a new lifetime best time for her, winning the 100-meter backstroke long course for the first time in her career.
Yeah, and we talk about getting up and performing when it matters most. Ingrid Wilm with an incredible performance there, 30.38 on the second 50, and I really think it was that third 25 that made a difference there for her.
And you saw her coming off of the wall, that underwater equally as strong as Moss at the best of times, but here she was even better coming off that 50. What a great swim by Ingrid Wilm, a personal best by 0.6 of a second, 58.80. She's going to get an opportunity to swim this one later on this summer at the World Championships.
Our newest national champion, Ingrid Wilm, your first time under 59 seconds and pretty securely puts your name on that World Championship roster in the 100, which is an event you've never swam at Worlds before. What are you feeling right now?
I assume my feelings pretty much the same as the rest of the crowd. Pretty surprised. I actually thought lane 4 was somebody else. And I really wanted to outtouch, so I probably wouldn't get third and just missed out on the team this year. So I'm genuinely happy to not only get the best time, but to qualify to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go, so.
Amazing. Yeah, and being able to swim next to Kylie Moss, arguably one of the best backstrokers, not only in Canada, but in the world, the most consistent swimmer. How have you used that as a motivator to get you through the last couple of years?
Honestly, I've said it once, I've said it a few times. Kylie is one of my biggest supporters in the ready room. She's always so ready to calm me down and boost me up before the races. I get very anxious, and she's always the first person in there to make me feel great and have fun before the race.
Awesome, and as you gear up now for World Championships, what is that smile on your face? It means everything. Do you change anything going in, or do you keep the training like you're doing and move forward with, looks like something's working well?
Yeah, I've definitely been working a lot in the last month on my physical strength, and it's nice being tapered down enough to actually put that to good use here. So I guess working on that a little bit more on my aerobic endurance, I guess.
Awesome. Well, let this feeling sink in. Ingrid Wilm, new national champion in the women's 100 backstroke.
Well, another surprise, Brittany.
We now go to the deck our junior
Just like in that 200-meter breaststroke, we've got a bit of an upset here in the 100-meter backstroke.
Truly, this is why we swim the races. I mean, you always say there's so many names in the sport that you're intimidated by or you make assumptions, and this is exactly why we don't just go off the psych sheets. The swimmers have to race, and they have to stand up and perform when it matters, and no person's role is confirmed on that national team until they get here in Toronto in a race.
Absolutely, and I think what we heard from Ingrid is how great of a supporter Kylie Moss is of her, and I think they're going to be able to turn that around and work, and Kylie's definitely going to use this as motivation going into the summer and going into the Worlds. 2 great backstrokes for Canada.
Right, and that's something that's important to note. This does not mean that Kylie will not get a chance to go to World Championships. She was still way under that FINA A cut, so she will be on the consideration team just as Ingrid will. But I think it's a great point for both of them to be at. They'll have to take away what they want to improve on going into summer, but 2 strong performances to have 2 strong Canadian backstrokers at World Championships.
Well, here we are with the men now, and the junior final is up first. We do have a couple juniors in consideration later on the A final, that World Junior Standard of 56.24. Good start by these men. Top seed, Paul Orogo in lane number 4 from Hayak. 57.62 this morning. There in the middle of the pool, Lakovic in lane number 5. He wasn't that far off as well. He's 57.88.
And out in lane number 0, Wells Ginger, really a fast first 50. He might flip in the lead. Oh, second, very close, leading at the 50. Paul Orogo in lane number 4.
Wow, Wells Ginzer, the youngster from the Okotoks Mavericks, out 27.73. A great outing for him. And it's another blanket. These guys will come to the finish. Anybody's race. I think it is advantage of Robo in lane number 4. Let's see if he can get underneath that 57.6. How close he can be to 56.2. And it's Rogo in 4, 57.08. Second is Paul Garnet, 57.26. Third is in lane number 5. 71, that is remember, when we do those awards presentations, we're going to combine these results with the swimmers that are junior, still junior in that A final.
Results from the junior final are official.
For a logo from Hayak, taking 6/10 of the second off of that time.
And 6/10 in 100 is a pretty substantial amount of time, so you'd look to see a pretty big smile out of his face. That was Paul versus Paul, 1 and 2 there in lanes 3 and 4 in the junior final of the men's 100 backstroke.
Wow, some great swims there in the junior men. So next we're going to have some awards for the women's 100-meter backstroke.
We direct your attention now to the awards podium area, where we'll present the awards for the women's 100 backstroke. Presenting the awards for our junior women's 100 backstroke, the co-creator of swimming-secrets.com, Nadina Zarife.
Passons maintenant à la remise de médaille du saut junior féminin. La remise de médaille sera effectuée par Nadina Zarife, la co-créatrice de swimming-secrets.com.
In third place, bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze.
University of Calgary, Sienna Rogers. In second place, silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
In Tokyo swimming, Delia Lloyd. Gold medalist,
La médaille d'or.
and junior champion for the Grand Prairie Piranhas, Jordan Grimmer. Congratulations, swimmers.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
We now present the awards for the women's 100 backstroke.
Passons maintenant à la remise de médaille du 100 dos féminin.
To present the awards, please welcome four-time Canadian Olympian, 2012 Olympic bronze medalist, and world champion in the 100 freestyle, Brett Hayden.
La remise de médaille sera effectuée par champion mondial, médaille de bronze aux Olympiques, Brent Hayden.
Bronze medalist,
La médaille de bronze,
Richmond Rapids and High Performance Center, Vancouver, Danielle Hannus. Silver medalist,
la médaille d'argent,
and under the World Aquatic Standard in this women's 100 backstroke event from the Toronto Club, Kylie Moss. Gold medalist,
la médaille d'or,
national champion, and also under that World Aquatic Standard, the 100 backstroke from the Cascade Swim Club, Ingrid Whittle. Congratulations, swimmers.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
Medalists. I think that now we're going to be throwing to a quick commercial break before we get underway with our 100-meter backstroke for the men. Well, maybe not. Maybe we're going into the B final straight away, which is fine.
Just get back into more swimming. This is what we're looking forward to. Yeah. I think there's a familiar name out there in lane 2, eh?
It is lane number 2. Cole Pratt, he's the second fastest Canadian in this event all time, coming back from a bit of an injury and just started competing again for the first time, long course since the Olympics earlier this month.
Here getting a chance to race, getting back in the groove, seeing some old friends, I'm sure, help him kind of get into the next stage of his recovery and motivation.
So off we go. The top seed in the B, Evan Aguirre-Winter, swimming for the University of Ottawa GGs in lane number 4. He was 57.41. So we'll see what he can get out of himself in this one. Again, it's another opportunity for these swimmers to just make that next step forward in their development as we come through to the 50. Aguirre-Winter this morning, 27.57. And tonight it is Kanik Brauchow swimming in lane number 6, 27.49. Solid swim on the out for him. That's much faster than he was this morning. See what happens as we come to the finish. And now in lane number 4, taking back the lead, Aguirre-Winter. He's trying to be better than that 57.41 that he did this morning. It is Aguirre-Winter in 4 to the wall, 57.19. Good swim for him, winning that B final.
And a big difference there for that second 50, 29.19, fastest in the field. In order to put together a strong 100 backstroke, that closing speed, and we just saw Ingrid Will improve that, but that closing speed makes a big difference. Results now official. Evan Aguirre-Winter winning from the Ottawa GGs, 57.19.
And a good step forward, and also a good step forward for young Cole Pratt there, edging along slowly as he makes his way back in preparation for, really at this point, for next summer and the run up into the 2024 Paris Games.
And talking about getting ready, we're getting ready here for the men's 100 backstroke A final.
And this one is going to be very exciting. A very tight field tonight.
Accueillons maintenant nos finalistes du 100 masculin. In lane 9, so
unattached Parker Lenko. He's a world junior eligible swimmer. It was a lifetime best this morning.
Colin Gagne out in lane 0. He was a World Championships team member last year in the 400 IM.
Look at this, Hugh McNeil. He won the U Sport National Championships in the 100 back as well as the 200 back in February.
And another World Championship team member from last year, Richie Stokes. An incredible performance he had here in the trials in the 200 backstroke. So this one's a little bit short for him.
Into the Royal City Aquatic Club, Tristan Jankovic.
In lane 6 from the University of Calgary.
Eden Norman coming in lane number 6. He's a junior eligible swimmer, but he's brought his best time down by more than a full second this month alone.
And the high performance setter Vancouver having a great meet here so far in lane 3, Rabin Doman.
Javier Acevedo in lane number 5. All sorts of medals at the World Championships last summer and this December.
And Blake Tierney will have the top spot out of lane 4, teammate right beside him. He also trains out of HPC Vancouver. Again, he's only about a tenth separated from Javi Acevedo, but we've got to think it's going to be a close race here. That FINA A cut is quite a bit faster than they went this morning, but we've been surprised already tonight, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happens again. 54.03. Javi Acevedo, though, just 25-year-old. One thing I love about watching him swim is, especially in the last couple of years, every year he is getting happier. He is enjoying this process. He is gaining experience. He is loving this sport, and it's really awesome to see. He's the Canadian record holder in the 50 back. He's a Rio and Tokyo Olympian, used to be my teammate at the University of Georgia. Like I mentioned, he will have lane number 5. He is, probably the one that Blake is looking to beat here.
And talk about keeping it young. He's trying new things all the time. This morning, out in 25.9 through the first 50 meters, way faster than he usually takes that out. But it was something that he and his coach wanted to experiment with, and he gave it a shot this morning. Here we go, A final now in the men's 100-meter backstroke. FINA A cut, 54.03. And it's a good start. Watch this underwater. Acevedo in lane number 5. Fantastic at it. He's up at like 14.9 meters. He knows that. He knows the number of kicks it takes, and it was a great start for him.
And he almost chops the water when he swims, but it works well for him. The 50-meter backstroke Canadian record holder, so his speed is something that comes very naturally to him.
Here they go at the 50, 26.3 for Turney this morning, 5.9 for Acevedo, 26.3 for Turney, 26.4 for Acevedo. He is fantastic on the back end, and he's rested a half second on that first 50.
And one thing I noticed about Acevedo, his mustache was shaved today, which means he's ready for business. Acevedo charging to the finish.
And a great finish. He rested with that 26.4 in that first 50. And look at all the energy he's got back here. He's got to go down to 54.0 to automatically be considered. 53.83. He hasn't been that fast in 6 or 7 years. A great swim by Acevedo, a 53.83 for the win. Turney is second at 54.49, and third in bronze. It goes to lane number 3, Raven Dolman, time at 55.06.
And a very strong performance there. We had to keep an eye on Aiden Norman, 55.35. That is under that junior cut, so he will be in contention to get the chance to swim at the Junior World Championships coming up this summer.
Great swim for Norman, as we said. He's come from 56.4. He went 56.0 earlier in March, now down to 55.2, 55.3. Great swims out of these guys here tonight in the backstroke. Acevedo really impressed with that. It's been a number of years since he's been under 54 seconds in the men's 100-meter backstroke, under the world standard at 53.83.
And there are your official results now on the board, showing your winner, Javier Acevedo, 53.83.
Our newest national champion in the men's 100-meter backstroke. backstroke, Javi Acevedo. It has been about 6 years since you've been close to that your personal best time. A 53.83 here tonight. Are you happy with that at this point in the season?
Yeah, thanks for calling me old. No, it feels great. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Good time.
Great. Okay, so we'll accept it, but there's definitely room for improvement moving forward, which is an awesome perspective to have. We did notice this morning, we messed around a little with a quick first 50. Was that a part of the plan to change it up tonight?
Yeah, it was. It really hurt this morning. That's the first time I've been under 26. But it feels good. I mean, this is what happens when you have such an electric crowd. I see all the coaches that I know from childhood. The volunteers, I mean, you guys are amazing, and I've known you since I was a kid, so it just gets me like in the mood, ready to go.
Well, that's a big kudos to everyone in the building. Javi, you're one of the swimmers I always say you look happier every year you're swimming. Keep it up. We're very proud of you. Congratulations on an incredible swim tonight, and go Dogs.
Yeah, go Dogs, baby!
We just have Rick Murphy, please report to the admin desk. Rick Murphy to the admin desk.
Shifting gears now as we've gone from a few of these sprints to the 400-meter freestyle.
And I might be a little biased, but I think this is one of the most exciting races to watch for sure. We've got one of the key events of the night as we have Summer McIntosh coming up shortly. But before we get there, we're going to watch a lot of her teammates come in today, actually, as we see a lot of youngsters in this event. This is the junior final of the women's 400-meter freestyle.
And just like a lot of other women's events have developed and are developing a deep field, this 400-meter freestyle is also turning out to be a pretty strong one. We'll see that later on in the A final. We've got 2, 4, 5 junior age eligible swimmers swimming in the A final. But right now it's going to be up against the next 10 fastest from the morning. The World Junior Qualifying Standard to be considered, it's a time of 4:17.69. Top time this morning in lane number 4, Ella Cosgrove. Swimming for Dorval. She was just off of that. She was a 4:19.54 this morning in prelims. And Brittany, you have swum this event more than your fair share. What do you like to see in this 400-meter freestyle from these swimmers this age?
It's an interesting event because, you know, a 200 freestyle specialist could do the 400 and kind of come up to it and have to swim a smart and long, smart race. And then those of us distance specialists, it was what I considered a sprint. So it definitely depends on which outlook you're looking at it from. But arguably, I think you need to have a steady rhythm in the kick all the way through the stroke. The big first 100 goal would be to get as much oxygen as you possibly can. You don't want to mess around with a bit too much effort on that first 100 and then you regret it on that third and fourth 50. But we're seeing some smart swimming here across the board in the middle of the pool. It believes to be at the moment Barry Trojan's Layla Ravovsky.
Very close field here, and we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all coming through that first 100. It's a bit of a chess match right now in the middle of the pool. Nobody really wants to rabbit and go, and that's okay. Probably a smart strategy, like Brittany was saying. 3 100s separate lane 5 and 6, 101.19. That's Arofsky, Stranowski, and 101.22. Very close, very controlled, but at the same time, faster than they were this morning.
Yeah, Naravsky is the name I remember from the World Cup. That was a few months before, so gaining some valuable experience, getting to compete here at night at these national championships. But you mentioned being the rabbit, the get out and go. That is one of my favorite races to watch because it takes quite a lot of mental energy to get out and be strong enough to decide, you know what, I'm going to go for this and I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to trust in my training and I know I've put in the work for this. But again, it's tough. It hurts. It's a painful race if you've kind of gone out too hard. So it's all about being really smart. And talk about smart swimming here. Julia Sorotsky out of lane 6 having an awesome second 100.
And she really is. She's starting to separate herself from the entire field now as they come to the halfway point. Look at this, a full body length. Shanoska in lane number 6. She was 2:08.19 this morning, 2:04.62, 3.5 seconds better, and that time this morning equaled her lifetime best.
Right, and we talk about how important the kick is in this freestyle, to not let your legs drop. And a great example, if you look across the pool, there is the most white water behind lane 6, Julia Starowski at the moment, and you know she's putting in that effort. She is not letting that tempo drop, and this third 100 is crucial as we get through to the second half of this race.
And this kick is absolutely incredible out of lane number 6 as she turns at the 250-meter mark, a 2:36.10, 31.450, a full second faster than everybody else, and she is not slowing down on that kick. It is still huge, a big weight coming off of those legs with just over 75 meters left, 125 meters left to go in the race.
Yeah, putting on the performance of her life up to this point at least, and it's incredible because we do have 5 people under that age category that could be eligible for the Junior World Championships coming up in the A final. So if it's going to put herself in contention, she's got to do it now, and she is flipping right now at 3:08.40. Incredible swim shaping up.
Wow, Strunowska 7 seconds faster than this morning. What a huge drop. You know she's gunning for that World Junior time, 4:17.6. We do have, as we said, 5 of those swimmers in the final that age eligible, but Summer McIntosh and Ella Jansen will not likely be swimming at World Juniors, so there's only 3 swimmers that she's got to be faster than.
And she might just do it. Her legs have not wavered here. 50 to go here for your leader, Julia Stronowski.
You talk about gutsy swims and being the rabbit and going for it and counting on and trusting in your training. She has field. Look at her now, 32.5 on that 50, turning at 3:40.98. 8 seconds faster than this morning. Absolutely incredible. Watch the clock, the time that she has to go down to be considered. It's a 4:17.69. I think she's going to do that no problem as she comes in to win the junior final. Look at this, 4:13.66. What an incredible swim out of lane number 6 by Julia Stranaska, winning that junior final. Second, Sienna Angrove, time of 4:16.18. Third goes to Ella Cosgrove, 4:17.46. Those top 3 swimmers all underneath what it's going to take to qualify for that junior team.
Yeah, and a huge smile on Julia's face. Amazing to see. She did a little fist bump there for her teammates in the audience. You can tell that is a massive best time, but it's also a swim to be incredibly proud of, and it's awesome to see that here in the junior final. Looking forward to seeing how that shapes up. Going off of this morning, that would have put her in 3rd. So, yeah, you got these. It's putting a bit more pressure on the rest of the juniors that are going to come up in the A final.
Wow, an 8-second personal best and a huge drop at this level in the 400-meter freestyle. And now we've got a few award ceremonies for the men's 100-meter backstroke before we move on with the B final and then the big A final in the women's 400-meter freestyle.
Your junior medalist, the bronze medalist, University of Calgary, Paul Darden. Once again, bronze medalist, Paul Darden, University of Calgary. Silver medalist, from the high axe symbol, Paul Orogo. Gold medalist, junior national champion from the University of Calgary, Aiden Norman. Norman finishing in 4th place overall at our super final. Congratulations, Soros.
Félicitations, Madame.
We will now send the awards for the men's 100 max
Passons maintenant à la remise de médaille du sando masculin.
To present the awards, four-time Olympian, Olympic medalist, world champion, all-time Canadian swimming legend, Brent Hayden. In third place,
La médaille de bronze.
bronze medalist from the High Performance Center, Vancouver, Raymond Doman. Silver medalist,
La médaille d'argent.
UBC Thunderbirds High Performance Center, Vancouver, Blake Tierney. Gold medalist,
La médaille d'or.
national champion, and swimming under the World Aquatic Standard in the 100 backstroke from the Ajax Aquatic Club, High Performance Center, Ontario, Javier Acevedo. He's coming, here comes that. Congratulations, Lord.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
And they are medalists, and with that, a quick commercial break before we get back with our 4-minute freestyle.
Prochaine finale, la finale B, du 400 litres de la féminin.
Looks like we're going right into the B final of the 400-meter freestyle for the women. Our top qualifier in lane number 4, Merritt Anderson, University of Calgary, this morning, a 4:20.44 swim. Well, Brittany, one heck of an exciting race in that junior final. What a great swim by Shanaska from Langley.
Yeah, who says distance is fun to watch, right? It's exciting, it's riveting, there's different strategies, you watch lead changes, and yeah, I'm sure we'll see no different here in the B final. Just a reminder, these are the athletes after this morning that were ranked from 11th through to 20th, including any, or I guess in addition to any international swimmers, and for this sake, we have one out in lane 7, Emma Liu.
Yeah, Emma Liu swimming for the Canadian Dolphins. She has 4:29.2 this morning. As you mentioned, Merritt Anderson, she swam a 4:20 this morning and was right on her seed time, just a couple tenths of a second off. Anderson looking in control and looking in the lead at the moment as it comes to the 100. Beside her in lane number 5, Anna Hine from University of Toronto. Anderson turning first, 1:01.92. Hine back 3/10 of a second. A little bit faster than they were this morning, out again with a bit of control.
And Merritt is a great example of a very relaxed tempo, nice and smooth in her arms. You can tell she has a strong catch and she's pulling well under the water, but definitely if you look at the lanes beside her, you'll see quite a higher stroke rate. Looks like she's using her legs quite a bit too and trying to get on the other side of the lane line from lane 5, Anna Hine, to make sure she's not getting any drag.
Yeah, trying to swim on the opposite side, not trying to give Hine any advantage there. As we come off that 150 wall, they're separated by 4/10 of a second, 134.9 to 135.3.
Looks like it may not actually have been strategic. She might just be circle swimming, but it looks like now she's...
You're right, because she went over to the other side of the lane and she came up off of that wall. So if she can think about it, hopefully she'll move back to the middle and stay there, because you can see Hine on that side of the rope, right up against Anderson as he comes to the halfway point. This morning we saw 2:08.5 by Anderson here, 2:08.7, so round about the same. Hine at 2:08.8, right where she was again this morning as well.
Yeah, and they're going to want to pick up the pace a little bit. Merritt pretty far from that wall, so the timing just not right there. But it is looking like she's circle swimming, and just to give some context to those at home, that's what you consider kind of what you do in a practice to make sure no one swims into each other. You do what's called circles, so you swim down one side and back on the other. In this sake, on the right on both ends, so you're always kind of on, the rope should be on your right. When you're in a race, you want to stay strategic, so either the center of the pool to make sure you're farthest away from
from both sides of the competition. Or if you're trying to catch someone's drag, you want to be on their rope, so nice and close to them. If you're out in the lead, though, you want to stay as close to the middle or on the opposite side of your closest competitor.
And you're right, so often the programs are just swimming that direction. But for all of our coaches out there, there's absolutely no reason why you can't alternate your lanes between clockwise and counterclockwise to make sure that you don't force your swimmers into one direction all the time, particularly your distance swimmers who put in so many miles in the pool. Look at this, lane number 3 now picking it up as they come to the 300. And Tori McClensick from Dorval, she was 4:24.8 this morning. She's taken over the lead by 1/10 of a second up on Anderson as Hine drops off a little bit in lane number 5. Here comes a great finish out of McClensick.
Yeah, McClensick looking very strong there. Tori in lane 3, fastest 50 of the field on that, to finish off that third 100, but you can see her tempo is higher, her kick is stronger. She's digging really deep with a 50 to go.
And she was just within 2/10 of her lifetime best this morning and better than a second faster at the 300. Here's McClensick at 3:48.9. That's 2.5 seconds faster than this morning. She's got a seed time that is 4:24.63. I think she's going to go faster than that. It's going to be a race between her and lane number 4, University of Calgary's Merritt Anderson. Anderson taking back the lead now with 15 meters left to go. McClensick sees her in 3. She's trying to answer back to the challenge. Oh, it's coming down to the touch, and it is by 1/10 of a second. Merritt Anderson at 4:20.45. McClensick, a great drop for her at 4:20.5 seconds as a personal best by 4 full seconds. A great swim for second by McClensick.
Yeah, and talk about strategy, but Merritt made sure that she looked over, saw a competitor there, and raced her to the finish, and that's exactly what you want to see. They left it all in the pool. A great close race there, in a race that's, 4 minutes long. It's fun to watch a race come down to the final 10th.
Absolutely, very exciting. And talk about exciting times in Canadian swimming. Coming up in this next race, tee it up for us.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Summer McIntosh, this is her first event so far of these Canadian trials. She is a phenom when it comes to Canadian women's swimming. Not only in Canada, let's make it the world. She is exactly what everyone aspires to be like at only 16 years of age.
Absolutely incredible. She is a Canadian record holder in this event. Swimming in lane 0, it is Bailey O'Regan, unattached. She's a U.S.-based swimmer.
And Maya Benzanen trains out of this exact pool at the HPC Ontario. Lane 1, Julie Brousseau. We already saw her here in the 200 breaststroke earlier tonight, so busy schedule.
Megan Willard, Point Claire, she's coming out here.
Katrina Bellio in lane 2, the Olympian from E-Swim, 1500 free swim that at the Tokyo Games.
Emma Cronin in lane number 6. She won the U Sport Championships in February.
Mabel Zavros, a Commonwealth Games team member last year, 2022.
Ella Jansen, also a Commonwealth Games. She's a medalist last summer. She's ranked number 12 in the world right now with her 4:07.
And everybody in this building knows this name, Summer McIntosh, the world junior record holder in the 200 free, the 200 fly, and the 200 and 400 IM. She also owns the Canadian records in all 4 of those events. The Tokyo Olympian in the 200, the 400, the 800 free. She won the gold medal in the 200 fly and the 400 IM at the 2022 World Championships. In this event, she was actually silver to just Katie Ledecky. Now, she actually beat Katie Ledecky for the first time recently and had one of the fastest meets of her career just a few weeks ago at the Pro Swim Series in Florida.
She's already broken 4 world junior records this season alone. Absolutely incredible year she's having.
4 world junior records before she has her license. What do we think about that?
And off we go in the middle of the pool. Keep your eye on Summer McIntosh. 4:08.0. Not a challenging swim for her this morning. She looked like in absolute control of that race.
Right. It was very relaxed, very controlled. You got to think for someone like McIntosh, who is so dominant over the rest of this field, how do you prepare for this type of race? I think any chance that she has to race
wherever it is in the local club meet, or it's a U.S. Grand Prix, or it's in Canada. She is proving that she can set new records. It doesn't matter if she's fully tapered, but these are all rehearsals for her big international competition. So no matter when the chance is, you think she's going to get up and race. She's the first Canadian female to ever get under the 4-minute barrier, and she's done so with ease. So I'm really excited to see what she's able to put together here tonight.
And she's out very quick, 27.3. It's 0.4 of a second faster than she was in December. In December, she just missed her Canadian record when she went 3:59.7. Here, 56.4. She has got the bull by the horns on this one. That is 1.7 seconds faster than she was out in December. So talking about making the most of an opportunity, she is working obviously on that front end speed right here and now.
And important to note for those at home, Summer McIntosh, we're currently watching one of the fastest in the world at her craft, but do not keep Ella Jansen out of your mind, because she is hoping to qualify and kind of bring herself onto the senior international team. She was able to compete at the Commonwealth Games last summer in the 200 fly, the 400 free, and the 400 IM, but is yet to be able to compete at the World Championships. She's only 17, and if Summer weren't in this heat, she would be a huge conversation.
This is very interesting. I mean, two great swimmers, but just, I apologize, bring this attention back to Summer McIntosh. She has never gone more than 250s under 30 seconds in one of her 400-meter freestyles, and she's just done the first three. No, the first four of them out in 155.9. This is something, we are all seeing something McIntosh has never done before.
155.91. This is a massive swim put together. She can hold on. We're looking at, there's no record marks that we can take off the table.
Well, Ledecky does still have the world junior mark at 3:58, a time she did in the 2014 Pan Pacs. It was one of the first years they brought in the world juniors. Oh, look at this. 550s now, under 30 seconds. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but her Canadian record is 3:59.3. The world record is 3:56.40. And that was set just last year by Australian Ariana Titmus. So let's see what we are at the 300-meter mark. My goodness, if she gets another 50 under 30 seconds, it is going to be absolutely incredible. 30.2. Oh my goodness, just over 30 seconds, but underneath the world record split at 2:55.84. That cut 3:56.40, a standard that we thought we wouldn't see for quite some time. McIntosh is absolutely killing this race in lane 4.
And the entire building is cheering her on. Her coach has his papers flying in the stands. A 50 to go. Summer McIntosh under world record pace.
Still under world record pace at 3:26.1. She has not finished this 400 free slower than 30 seconds in the last year and a half. So let's see what she can do here in the last 25 meters. Oh my goodness, 3:56.40, the world record by Ariana Titmus, Australia. Summer McIntosh coming to the finish, 5 meters to go. This is all Summer McIntosh in lane 4. World record! World record at 3:56.08. Absolutely incredible.
Summer McIntosh is the newest world record holder in the women's 400 freestyle.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to take a moment for sure, hear the sounds of the crowd. Her parents are jumping up and down beside us. What an absolutely unbelievable, I mean, there is no standard that Summer McIntosh has not set. We've spoken about her being the world junior record holder in the 200, the 400 of the IMs, the 200 free, the 400 free. We just saw history. We just saw a world record broken.
Crowd, a wave from McIntosh up to her family in the stands. What an incredible journey this young lady has just begun at 16 years old and the world record holder in the women's 400-meter freestyle by 0.3 of a second.
And we're talking about, I just don't think we can put into words. I don't know about you, Jason. I'm shaking. I can't wait to talk to Summer right now. I don't know how how does one describe a world record performance, 16 years of age?
No one better ever. Absolutely incredible swim. You saw her put all those 50s out under 30 seconds. What a special swim and what an opportunity we all had to see. Really greatness in the pool. And here we go now with Brittany McLean and your winner and new world record holder, Summer McIntosh.
And one more time, let's give it up for our newest world record holder, Summer McIntosh. Summer, I'm shaking up here just getting the chance to witness the incredible feats that you continue to achieve in this sport. What are you feeling right now?
Honestly, a bit of disbelief. Going into this tonight, I didn't think the world record was a possibility, but you never know. I'm so grateful for my coach and everyone that's helped me along the way to get to where I am today.
And it is electric here, this atmosphere with humans in it for the first time in a few years. Could you hear the crowd in that final 100?
Yes, for sure. Whenever I get the chance to compete at one of my home pools where I trained up for 2 years and to compete in Canada, there's always that extra little bit left in my races to finish and make everyone proud of me.
And you are in Toronto with a lot of the home crowd that knows you very well. Mom and Dad up in the stands. What do you have to say to them in this moment?
Just thank you for everything. It means the world to me, and I love you guys.
Incredible. Well, we look forward to continuing to cheer you on, Summer. Congratulations, your newest world record holder in the women's 400 freestyle.
How do we top that? How do we come back from it? I do want to note that Ella Jansen, 4:08.81, a little over her PB from a month ago, but she is still under that FIDA A cut, so she will put herself in contention for that World Championship team. 12 seconds behind the leader, but you know what? When the World Championship, the World Record holder is in your heat, I think that's a pretty good feat.
Everybody's behind you when you're in the heat with the world record holder, so there's no shame in that. And great progress that Jansen has made. She already went 4:07, but here under this really tremendous pressure pot situation, she gets underneath that cut. Manages to put herself in contention, so really good stuff.
And Jason, is it, now she has a time that we might see be in contention on this men's final. So we're going to have to keep an eye on how many men, she put the pressure on the rest of the program here. So how many men are able to beat Summer McIntosh?
Well, hope that a lot of them, but, even Katie Ledecky, when she trains with some of the very best men in the world. And you're seeing like Summer McIntosh, incredible swings like this.
Okay, deep breaths. We still have 3 more 400 freestyles to go, starting here with the junior final in the men's 400 free.
So here we go in this one, and the World Junior qualifying standard in this is a 3:55.54. So, you're going to have to beat Summer McIntosh if you want to be considered for this event, and obviously you should. Lown Kim at lane number 4 from Hyatt. He's a 2008 born, so just a youngster. Her best time of 4:01.28. He's swimming in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, Lown Kim actually is the NAG record holder, so that means National Age Group record holder for the 14-year-old category. He owns those records from the 50 through to the 800, so talk about versatility, talk about the future of Canadian swimming, representing Hyatt Swim Club, only 14 years old. That's Lown Kim, which at the moment looks to be leading.
And Kim doing a good job in the middle of the pool, trying to get his way out there as well in lane number 9, unattached, Andrew Jin. Here we go at the 100-meter mark at 56.3, solid outing there. And as we mentioned, he is a national age group record holder in all sorts of freestyle events. So lots of promise here from the youngster from Hyatt. Was the best time this morning. He's out a little bit faster than he was through the 100. And now let's see if he can maybe follow in McIntosh's footsteps and lap a few more of these 50s under 30 seconds as he goes to the 150-meter mark, about a half body length ahead. does manage it at 29.8, 126.2. That's good. He wasn't there this morning. He's a half second slower on that 50 this morning.
Right, and he's breathing every 2, as you can see, so looking towards his left at the moment, definitely getting in a lot of air at this point. So you can see a really nice tempoed kick, but pretty slow in the arms, so that means he looks to be relaxed. I would expect him to pick it up here in the second half.
Let's see what he does here at the halfway point. 157.87 this morning in the prelims. 156.0. He's almost 2 seconds faster, though, so that's a pretty good outing for him. He's going to have to really work it on these last 200 meters to get under 2 minutes. He does need to go down at 159 to hit that junior standard at 355, so we'll see how close he can come to that. Coming up now to the 250 meter mark. Second is Olivier Risk swimming in lane number 2, and third is Timothy Barbeau in 5. As he goes, there's our first 50 over 30 seconds, and he's not that far off at 226.1 at 30.1150. It's still Risk second, Barbeau in third. They're sitting back about a second and a half, 2 seconds. Coming up to the 3/4 mark now in lane number 4, your race leader, Laun Kim from the Hayak Swim Club, a youngster who's broken all sorts of national age group records in the 13, 14-year-old category. And 256.52. It's a good split. 2 seconds better than this morning.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him under that 4-minute barrier. It would be a great swim, but also having a great swim there at lane 2. Olivier Risk, busy night for him, but it's shaping up to be a strong one. 30.86 on that split.
So let's see what kind of speed and get out of himself over this last 55 meters now as he comes to the wall. Loud. He's going to have to put a couple 29s down if he wants to get underneath that cut. 30.4, he's 327.0. Let's see what kind of finishing kick he's got at the end of this race. It's still Risk, followed by Barbeau. And he's not looking bad. Brittany, 25 meters left to go.
Still slow in the arm tempo a little bit, but maybe that's how he's comfortable swimming. The legs are coming in strong here. We're going to try to get under that 4-minute barrier.
And it looks like he's going to be successful at that. We'll see how close he can get to the standard, but Laun Kim from Hayak winning 356.79. A good drop. It's almost 5 seconds on the day. Second, it is lane number 5. That is lane number 2, Olivier Risk at 358.42. And then third is lane 5, Timothy Barbeau at 359.41.
Yeah, and that time would have put him, into the 6th or 7th position after this morning. So definitely sneaking in there when it comes to the senior category, and only 14 years of age, so a massive future ahead.
And it does look like those results are official. So our winner, 356.79, Laun Kim from Hayak.
And we'll direct your attention to the awards podium now and present the awards for the 400 freestyle.
Passe maintenant le circuit de médaille pour le 400 livres féminin junior.
Starting with our presentation for the junior women's 400 freestyle, to present the awards to the co-creator of swimmingSecrets.com, Nina Zarife.
Tina Zarife, propriétaire de swimmingSecrets.com, présentement les médailles.
In third place,
La médaille de bronze.
bronze medalist, the winner of the junior final from lane Julia Strashnowska. Silver medalist,
La médaille d'argent.
second overall as well from Etobicoke Swimming at Fort Center, Ontario, Ella Jensen. And your junior champion,
La médaille d'or.
gold medalist, was Summer McIntosh. Ella Jansen, Summer McIntosh, junior silver and gold medalist in the 400 free. Congratulations to our junior medalists.
Félicitations à vous les
We will now present the awards for the women's 400 freestyle.
Passons maintenant à la remise de médaille pour le 400 livres senior.
To present the awards, 2012 Olympic bronze medalist in the 100 freestyle, Brent Hayden. Bronze medalist for the Markham Aquatic Club, Mabel Zaparos. Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
Finishing in a time under the World Aquatic Standard. For nomination for selection in the 400 freestyle of the World Championships from Etobicoke Swimming and Performance Center, Ontario, Ella Jansen. Gold medalist.
La médaille d'or.
With a new 15-16 national age group record, Canadian senior record, world junior record, and world record in the 400 freestyle, Summer McIntosh. Congratulations, swimmers.
And with that, I believe we're cutting to a quick commercial break before we get underway with the men's B final of the 400-meter freestyle.
We go out to the pool for our final two races of the night, starting off with the B final of the men's 400 freestyle.
One of these days we'll get it. And we're getting right back into the swimming, the 400 freestyle B final on the men's side.
It looks like you're right. No more commercial interruptions in this one. The 400-meter freestyle B final. And we do have a couple foreign nationals here, including our top qualifier, Sebastian Gonzalez Barboza, swimming in lane 4. He was 3:59.81 this morning. And here we go. Barboza, as we mentioned, he was 3:59 this morning. Right beside him from Lithuania, Tomas Navikonis. He was 4:00.08. And as Brittany mentioned, a lot of swimmers looking to come to a FINA-sanctioned event to make their qualifying standards for the summers, whether that's European or under 23 European Championships or some other international event. Great opportunity to have them here swimming at one of the fastest pools in the world, Pan Am Center here in Toronto.
Yeah, and a very strong start though out of lane 5. Tomas Navikonis, and 26:43 on his first 50. He's got about a body length on the field.
Really getting out and going for it. He was 4:00.00 this morning. He's got a C time at 3:54, so we know he's got a bit of room. And here at the 100, he's going through quick at 55:03. Navikonis, he was 57.6 this morning, so 2.5 seconds faster through that first 100 meters. Second right now, it's lane number 6. That's William Riss from Pacific Coast Swimming. Riss this morning at 4:02. We'll look to see what he can get out of himself. It was a personal best by almost a half second as it comes to the 150-meter mark. Navikonis in lane number 5, still keeping up that pace, turning at 1:24.3. 29.3 on that third 50. So he's setting himself up pretty good here, Brittany. He went out really quick. He looks like he's throttled it back a little bit here now as he comes to the halfway point.
Right. The goal is to stay pretty far under that 30-second barrier in each 50, especially if you want to hit those times well under 4 minutes. His time this morning right at 4 minutes with that 3:59, or sorry, the 4 minutes .08. But yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on what this 50 split is.
So here he is at the halfway point at 1:54.7, 4 seconds faster than this morning. So he's really out and doing a good job trying to get down to that seed time of his. You just have to keep an eye on that splitting though. He's up over 30 seconds now at 30.3. Going to have to be able to bring it back and bring it back under 30 if he wants to get down to that entry time at 3:54.4.
And a great swim here put together. You can see his tempo's dropped a little. It's probably fatigue going into the final 50. One turn to go. Still around that 30-second barrier, 2:24.89. Oh, sorry, he's still got 150. That's on me. Well, I was getting too excited for the finish of this race.
Well, we're just seeing that 4 and thinking, my goodness, he's going to get down to that time at 3:54. He does have a little bit left, but he's back down to 30.1, so he should be able to pick that up, and he should be able to challenge for that best time of his. And look at lane number 7 starting to move up now. That's Xavier Pimentel from University of Calgary, 4:02.4 this morning. Just a little bit off of his best. We see a 2:55.9. Navakonis, he's really going to have to pick it up here in this last 75 meters.
And that third 100 can be the most challenging, but can also be where the biggest strides are made. We saw our leader lose a little bit of his lead there, Thomas Nakavikis, but he is still in lane 5, the clear leader. Navakonis, Thomas, my mistake for that last name pronunciation. A 50 to go for our leader.
It is a tricky one, and here we go. I think it is Navakonis on the last 50 meters. He turns at 3:26.2. He's going to be down probably at 3:55. It'll be a decent swim for him. Not as fast as he's been, but arguably a real good setup for the summer, depending on what sort of international meets he's got set aside. Second right now is Pimentel in lane 7. He's broken away from everybody else. And it is going to be lane number 5, Thomas Navakonis from Lithuania, winning the B final, 3:56.97.
And our heat winner there, 3:56.97. Very solid swim out of lane 5. A good 4-second drop, or 3.5-second drop from this morning. You got to be happy with that.
Great drops for some of these swimmers here tonight in the B final of the 400-meter freestyle. That's what it's all about. Getting down there, taking that lane, whatever lane it is, A, B, or junior. Working to get faster than you did in the morning, get down to a personal best. Next up, it's going to be the A final in the men's 400-meter freestyle. Standard to qualify for Worlds, a time of 3:48.15. Pan American Games, 3:55.61. Here we go with your A finalists. First out is coming to Barrie Trojans is Jordi Vilches. 3-second personal best this morning.
Diego Paz has lane number 0. He snuck under 4 minutes this morning for a personal best time.
Camo's Victor Dagenet in 8, best time by a second.
And the future looks bright. Another personal best, Quinn Mateus out of Windsor Aquatic Club.
Keep your eye on lane number 7, Paulins. He's got a C time of 3:53, so he could challenge the leaders.
Lauren Wigginton, we'll have to keep an eye on that junior time. He was just under it this morning, still eligible to make the Junior Worlds team.
And here we are, all the experience of Jeremy Bagshaw, bronze medalist at the Commonwealth Games last summer on the relays.
Alex Axon, he was on the 2022 World Championships team for the open water discipline.
Eric Brown, swims the University of Florida, made his senior national team debut last summer, the World Championships in Budapest.
And in lane 4, the 3-lane club, Yutong Wu.
A great swim for him this morning. Yutong Wu will have lane number 4. He was under his qualifying time by a few tenths of a second. We talk about coming in here, swimming, improving. You'll look to have a very close race here. It's not like that A final in the women's event where we knew Summer was going to be, miles ahead of the rest of the field. This is going to be a close race. You see the top
pretty much from lane 2 all the way down to lane 7 are within a bit of about 2 seconds of each other. In a Florida freestyle, that's really not too much time.
Not at all, and you consider the top 5 are all pretty much within a second, and there's all sorts of different strategies, a little bit all over the map, if you will, in terms of strategies that we're going to see tonight, so it should make for a very interesting race. As we go, remind you, in the junior final, we saw a 3:56 out of Laun Kim from Hayak. He was just over that world junior qualifying standard, but lane number 2, Lauren Wigington from the University of Calgary, he's of junior age. He was underneath that qualifying cut by 3/100ths of a second this morning.
And you talk about experience in mix with these juniors. Jeremy Bagshaw in lane 6. That is a name. Jeremy was actually on my very first junior national team. I believe it was 2009. So now we're talking 14 years ago, and he is still challenging his name for the national team, currently in medical school in Ireland. But talk about balance. That's got to be a pretty difficult one, to be a distance swimmer and in medical school.
Well, I can't even imagine, but you can imagine that it is very difficult. You know how difficult med school is, distance swimmer, all of the miles, all of the time that they have to put into the pool. So it's quite an accomplishment for Bagshaw. And last summer, while he was in med school, he managed to get medals at the Commonwealth Games as well.
Right, and I think that's encouraging for all the young athletes out there, but also for the parents listening, that you can be a high-level academic athlete while pursuing your dreams in the pool. And I think he is a perfect example of someone that's been able to challenge both and be world-class in both the classroom and in the pool.
And he is challenging right here. Bagshaw right up with Eric Brown, the race leader. They're separated by 0.3 of a second. Bagshaw with the better 50 there at the 150-meter mark at 29.0, a couple tenths better than Brown. We'll see what they are as they come to the halfway point this morning. Eric Brown, he was a 156.4. Bagshaw was turning in 156.4 as well. Top seed, Yutong Wu, sits back in third as they come to the 200-meter mark. 153.5 for Brown. Bagshaw 154.2. Much faster than this morning.
And they both look very strong in the middle of the pool there. Eric Brown's got a little bit of a heavier kick, but Bagshaw is known for his steady tempo, always kind of bounces through the water, as you can see, but he's breathing right over to the leader, Brown, in 5.
And, you know, even if they're not down at that world standard at 3:48, I mean, there is an opportunity to prepare for the Pan American Games. It's a 3:55.6. We're going to see a number of these swimmers underneath that cut again tonight, just like we did this morning. And that will just be another opportunity for international level competition at the Pan Ams in the fall of 2023 down in Chile.
And both of these swimmers have gone up to the distance levels before, but I would say at this moment, Eric Brown has a bit of an advantage doing open water, doing the 1500, and Bagshaw Moore goes down to the 200. So it looks like we got about a body length there for the leader, Eric Brown, with 100 to go.
Yeah, Eric Brown 5 seconds faster than he was this morning. Bagshaw also much quicker. Bagshaw is going to have a great finishing kick, as you mentioned earlier, Brittany. He always finishes strong, manages to just save enough energy to get those legs into it, and it's just a little bit more than 50 meters to go. He seems like he's a bit of a ways away to get all the way back on Brown, but we'll see what we get out of these last 50s as he turns at 3:21.5. It's going to be a good swim. It could be down at 3:50, which would be phenomenal for Brown. He's got a sea time at 3:52.70. This is turning out to be a great swim for Eric Brown.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And Bagshaw's not letting him get too far away. Last 15 to go for our leader.
And here we go, Eric Brown. 3:52.70 is his sea time. He's going to be underneath that, winning 3:50.81, new lifetime best for him. Second goes to Bagshaw in lane number 6 at 3:52.76. And third goes to lane number 2. Lauren Wigington, and it's a time at 3:54.32, underneath that World Junior qualifying standard.
Jeremy Bagshaw and Lauren Wigington.
And the results are now official, as you can see. 350.81. Eric Brown, our leader. Second, Jeremy Bagshot, 352.76. And rounding us out with bronze under that junior time that we were keeping an eye on, Lauren Wigington. So you gotta assume he's probably the favorite to get to be on that world junior team.
Absolutely, and the way that it works is a certain number of spots. They pool everybody together, whoever is underneath the standard. And this one for sure is going to be good enough for Wigington to get himself onto that world junior team. We're going to get a chance to talk to Eric Brown here in a moment. And we'll throw to Brittany McLean, who will speak to our race winner, Eric Brown, from the Point Claire Swim Club.
Our newest national champion, the men's 400 freestyle, Eric Brown, a new PB. How did that race feel?
Yeah, it felt really good. Been working a lot of my power this year, so I can definitely feel how much better I'm getting at that. Just off what I would like to go, but you know what, it's not a bad time, so keep on working. It's still 5 days ahead, so it's a long meet.
Right, and it's a long meet. It's super important to stay the course. You have a big performance coming up in the 800 and 1500. How does this set you up for success the rest of the week?
Honestly, I think it was great. It really felt really good, so I can't be mad at that time at all. And it's at 800 tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Hopefully I can go into the cup for that.
Awesome, and just to round out the night, the event before you, we saw a world record performance. How does that motivate you getting in the pool right after Summer McIntosh's world record?
That's it was crazy. I was warming up and kind of looking at the board, I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I had to get out and go check it out. And it was crazy to watch, but that's it. It's a lot of good stuff moving forward, and I'm just excited for what's to come.
Awesome, yeah, maybe some sets together in one of the training camps this summer to help prepare you for those national team meets. Congratulations, our newest national champion in the men's 400 freestyle, Eric Brown.
Still to come, we'll have our award ceremony in just a moment for the junior men's 400 freestyle band.
And that wraps up our racing here for night one at the Pan Am pool. What a night it was.
Wow, I don't want to say I'm speechless because I have to say something, but I you know, pretty speechless with some of those performances.
Also, maintenant, la remise de médailles pour le 400 livres masculin junior. La remise de médaille sera effectuée par Nadina Zerife, directrice de swimmingSecrets.com.
Your bronze medalist in the junior 400 freestyle from Ross Swimming, Olivier Riss. Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
The new national age group record for the 13-14 of the High Action Club, Leon Kim. Gold medalist.
La médaille d'or.
You were a junior national champion at the University of Calgary, Lauren Wigington. Wigington finishing third overall in the Super Final 400 freestyle and picks up gold in the junior rankings for the 400 free. Congratulations, folks.
Félicitations, les médaillés.
We'll now present the awards for the men's 400 freestyle. Once again, present the awards, four-time Canadian Olympian, world champion 400 freestyle, Brent Hayden. In third place, bronze medalist,
La médaille de bronze.
University of Calgary, Lauren Wigington.
Let's take a quick selfie.
Silver medalist, la médaille d'argent, Island Swimming, Jeremy Bagshaw.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, he's right there. He's walking across in the back corner in the navy blue.
Gold medalist, la médaille d'or, national champion from Point Claire Swim Club, Eric Brown. Congratulations, swimmers.
Félicitations aux médaillés. Ceci maintenant pour la première session de finale ici aux essais Bell canadiens de natation. Félicitations à tous nos nageurs, spécialement Summer McIntosh pour le record du monde au natation libre. Merci à nos bénévoles. On se redonne rendez-vous demain matin pour un échauffement qui débute à 7h30 avec un début de session à 9h. Merci, bonne soirée.
What a day on day number one.
Well, Brittany, I can't think that there is much debate needed for the Bell performance of the day today here at the 2023 Canadian Swimming Trials.
It has to be Summer McIntosh, a world record performance, the fastest time of all ever in history for women's swimming, the 400 freestyle, 3:56.0. We talked before this, that personal best time was already a massive accomplishment at her age. You look into which competitions, you really can't predict, what she's going to focus on every time she dives in the pool. She's going a personal best, which is arguably breaking records. And here we just saw the fastest time in the world ever in history. As you can tell, it's still really hard to put into words what we just witnessed.
Well, everything that Summer is doing these days is hard to put in words. She's ranked number one in the world in 4 different events. She's broken the world junior record now 5 times this year, and tonight at 3:56.0, like you just said, it's the world's record. No one has ever been faster, and so what an amazing accomplishment by this young lady and her program and the coaches that she has and all of the partners and training partners that she has with her. And we saw how emotional it was for her. She's got her mom and dad in the stands. We know the level of support that goes behind this young lady from the family, and it's truly amazing. And it's a huge team accomplishment, this world record.
All right, and talk about running in the family. Her sister actually just finished competing at the World Championships in figure skating. So dynamic duo. Her mom is also an Olympian. Talk about history. I truly, this is night 1. We're talking about highlights from night 1, and we saw a world record. There was a ton of other highlights to talk about, and yet the standard is now set on night 1. As in order to be our performance of the day, it's got to be a world record. Summer has multiple more races to go, and I am fired up, excited to watch them.
Excellent. Well, for Brittany McLean, I'm Jason Pratt. This is the end of an absolutely incredible night 1 at the 2023 Bell Canadian Swimming Trials. Please join us again tomorrow. Preliminaries starting tomorrow morning at 9:30, and then finals again at 6 p.m.
Swimming Canada would like to thank our partners. Natation Canada tient à remercier ses partenaires. The Government of Canada. Le gouvernement du Canada. Speedo, your trusted swim partner from your first splash through every stroke. Speedo, votre partenaire de natation de confiance, de votre premier saut dans l'eau à chaque traction. All Tides, proud to support Canadian swimming. All Tides, fier de soutenir la natation canadienne. Marriott Bonvoy, 30 hotel brands, endless experiences, official hotel sponsor of Swimming Canada. Marriott Bonvoy, 30 marques d'hôtels, d'innombrables expériences, commanditaire officiel de Natation Canada.